Let's go. Dana Divine, welcome in Coast 444. Appreciate you joining the stream. Thais, appreciate you being here. Y'all, welcome in. S is in the building. What's up, S? Y'all, welcome into the stream. Then y'all, welcome in. I appreciate y'all joining today. Welcome into Track Talk. If y'all are coming in for the first time, welcome to the stream. Let me know where y'all are joining from. If you make music, let me know what kind of music you make. We'll chat for just a little bit. We're only going to be on today for about 3 hours tops. 3 hours tops. So we'll hopefully get into some music here fairly quick. But let me double check a few things before we get started here. But yeah, if y'all are coming in for the first time, let me know where y'all are joining from. Just me, welcome in. Let's see, Noah, welcome in. Barbara, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Welcome into the live stream, y'all. Appreciate y'all joining. If y'all are on TikTok, make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people. We'll get rolling here in just a minute. But yeah, let me know where y'all are joining from. Let me know if you make music, the kind of music that you make. Goose is in the building. Jovel, welcome in as well. I appreciate you joining. How you feeling today? Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate that a lot. Oh, don't do that. Whoops. Don't do that. No. How we feeling, y'all? How we feeling? Welcome in. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome to Track Talk. We're going to get things flowing here in a second. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send your heart me for the day. It does really help out the live stream. We're going to get flowing with some music here in just a couple minutes. I just want to say what's up. Talk to y'all for a little bit, chat, talk to y'all a little bit about what y'all do as far as music and stuff goes, and we'll get flowing here in just a little bit as well. Let me double check a few other things here as well. I'm going to check one of the other platforms here. Jules, welcome in. Jules, I hope you're doing fantastic. Welcome into the stream. I appreciate you being here. Let's see. Let me get this updated over here as well. Yeah, let me get this updated on the other platform. Maybe 6 songs today. We'll see. Jada's in the building. What's up, Jada? Welcome in. Gons Oakmont. Is it a Senkaj? I can't see from this far. Or Sankale, maybe. Thank you so much for hopping into the stream. I appreciate you being here. Welcome to the live. I'm clearing a couple things here, so just give me one moment as I get some things set up. Charlie Pitty. I do not know Charlie Pitty. It's my first time hearing that name. Where are they from? Or where'd you hear them? Let me see. Oh, Charlie Puth. Oh, I don't know. I hear a lot of different artist names in here, so I wouldn't have known. I have not heard the new album yet. I've heard a couple songs. I've heard a couple songs that he's like promoted and stuff like that. Unstable, welcome in. Fumikage, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining the stream, and thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Helsay, welcome in as well. Yeah, I haven't heard. I've heard I think is it Changes, maybe a couple other songs from the album that I've heard more recently that he's been promoting, but I haven't listened to the whole album straight through. I just haven't had time or energy to do that. Wes Parker, next big artist to break through this year. I don't think I've heard Wes Parker either. Y'all keep coming into live. I appreciate y'all joining. Welcome in. I appreciate you being here. If you make music, I would love to know where y'all are from. Talk to me about where you're joining from. If you make music in any capacity or help make music in any capacity, let me know what you do. Let me know the style of music that you make, how long you've been making it. We're going to get in some music here in just a little bit. We'll be listening and talking about y'all's music. So if you're an artist, you're a producer, session musician, engineer, songwriter, whatever it may be, that's what this live stream is all focused on. James Parker, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. I do know NF. Writer artist, he's not, I swear on his, yeah, I know NF. Jules is a music artist. Well, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome in. Aces is, NF's been around for a minute. I'm a rapper from the Philippines. Let's go. Shout out to the Philippines. I appreciate you hopping in, Aces. Welcome in. Unstable makes rock music from the middle of nowhere, Idaho. Let's go. We had a couple like really fantastic rock artists come in yesterday. One of the ones, gosh, what was their name? Oh, do I still have them on here? I think I deleted their name off the list because I already went through them yesterday. I can't think of the name right now, but we had a really really cool like kind of like classic metal artist that came in yesterday, which is really really cool. Do do do. Not Jay, welcome in as well. Do Motown, hip hop, and soul rap. Let's go. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Can you give me some ideas for my new song, Poison Ivy? I definitely can. I mean, that's part of what this whole live stream is. Give me just a couple minutes, and I'll explain the whole structure of the live stream here. Just getting a couple things rolling here, waiting for TikTok to kind of wake up, some of the other live streams to wake up, and then we'll dive into some music here. Libby, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate it. Vera, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Smitty, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. Okay, one second. Barbara, I definitely can, 100%. Give me just a minute. I'm getting a couple things updated here over on my email, making sure that I have everything refreshed and doing what it's supposed to do. Let me clear, I don't need the eBay up. We're not buying that instrument. We can close that. I got a million things going on all at the same time. That's so weird. TikTok has been a little glitchy. Also, do me a huge favor. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Make sure y'all are liking the live. It's been really glitchy like the last week or so. Apollo's Burning, welcome in. As far as like random restrictions for stuff, like kind of for no reason. I'm not sure. Not Jay, thank you for the follow. So do me a favor. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen, at least liking the live. Share out the live if that would be helpful. Or, you know, if you have people you think would be interested in what we do here, especially once I explain the live stream. And don't forget to send your heart me. It does really help out the live stream as well. It only costs 1 penny. From a Magnolia celebration titled Magnolia. Bistro, we'll get into some music here in just a second. Give me quite literally 5 seconds to refresh this over here, make sure I've got everything set up, and then I'll explain the live stream and we will dive into the details. We'll dive into the details of the songs here. Let's see. These are all from last night, late submissions last night, or they didn't submit. They didn't fully submit. Okay, let's get into some music. Jay, thank you for hopping in, and thank you for the shares. I appreciate it a lot. For those of you who have never been here before, I appreciate y'all joining so much. Welcome to Track Talk. It is going to be a fairly short live today, maybe like 3 hours tops, 2 hours and 45 minutes tops. So I'm going to try to move at a good pace, even though we do take a long time when we're listening to songs, and that's the whole point of the live stream. So if you've never been here before, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the live stream. I'm so glad that y'all are here. What we do at Track Talk are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen, deep dive consultations on the structure of your music. This is not a quick review. There are no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. It is like I said, a 20 to 30 minute multiple listen, usually 2 or 3 times through your song, your production, whatever it may be, to really get into the details and the nuances of what you're doing practically and creatively within the structure of your song. We're going to dive deep and really nuanced and analytically into your mix and master, production elements, sound design, lyric and song structure. We're going to really get into the nuances of what you're doing within the structure of your song. If that would be interesting to you, that is what we do here at Track Talk. I am not here to trash you. I'm not here to roast you. I'm not here to just like review it and check a box and say, have better energy, bro, and then move on. This is really detailed. It's really long form. And I'm also not here to give you exposure. I'm not here to hype you up and tell everyone that they're fabulous. The goal is really to focus on the music and really dive deep into the structure of the music. So if the algorithm does something fun and you get exposure and you get fans of your music, fabulous. But I'm really here to focus on offering just tools and advice and strategy for artists and producers, musicians, songwriters, vocalists, engineers, whatever it may be, or people that represent those people that are trying to put on their music and give them some tools to help them improve on their craft. That is the structure of this live stream. It's long form, it's detailed. The goal is to be as valuable as possible and offer some specific and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. For those of you who don't know, maybe you've never been here before, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. It's what I've done for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained musician. So that's how we're pointing this live stream. And that's kind of the perspective that we're coming from, right? We're not here to just, throw out some random ideas. I really want to get into the details of what you're doing with your music. So if that sounds interesting for you and you would like to submit for a consultation, one of these 20 to 30 minute detailed long form consultations, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all of the details right there. Felix, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Or Felix, maybe. I'm assuming Felix, maybe, making that up. Thank you for tapping in. Appreciate you being here. But yeah, if you would like to submit your music for a consultation, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow all of the details there. If you do read through and follow all the details, I will get notified and we'll get you up on the board and up in line. Ashley, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. If you would like to check the line, sorry for the allergies, y'all. If you would like to check the line, order minimum, stuff like that as we go throughout the live stream, then you can find it. Actually, I need to update this 2 seconds. Let me switch. Boom, boom, and we're done. If you would like to check the line is always up on the other platforms that we are live on, which you can also find at my link. You can find those if you go to my link, and you can go to the red app or the purple app, some of the other platforms that we're live on. I got to speak in code over here on TikTok. But either way, if you would like to submit, again, all that happens at my profile. If you click on the link and then follow the details. If you are on the purple app, you can type !submit right there in the chat. If you're on the red app that we're also live on, then you can go to the description for the live stream and all of the details. The same links are right there. Ray is in the building. What's up, Ray? I appreciate you tapping in. But if y'all are over on TikTok, keep tapping the screen. Keep sharing out the live. Don't forget to send your heart. It really does help out the stream. Sadie, welcome in as well. I appreciate you joining. And hopefully here in just a couple minutes, we'll get moving with some music. Let me double check a few things here before we get rolling. David Givens in the building. What's up, David Givens? I hope you're doing fantastic today, man. Hope you're doing amazing. But like I said, I'm probably going to take maybe like a max of maybe 6 songs or something like that today. So it is going to be a little bit of a shorter live. So if you would like to submit, I would do it sooner than later, just because if it does fill up, then I'm going to be pretty limited in the amount of songs that I'm able to get consultations for today. Zachary, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Jordan, welcome in as well. Appreciate you joining. But we'll get rolling here in just a couple minutes. First mix came back and I found the issues kind of early. Ooh, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Bradley, welcome in. That's the goal. That's the goal. That's the goal. When those first mixes come back, it gives you, especially the more that you like train your ear for that stuff, you're able to pick up on some of those nuances a little bit faster. Kuro, welcome in as well. I appreciate you being here. I got you. We're just getting started, man. We might kick it off with you. We're just getting rolling here. We just hopped on. I explained everything. Demas, welcome in. I appreciate you joining the live stream. Y'all keep tapping the screen. Share it out. Jay and RSJ, we're not listening to popular artists. We're listening to independent underground artists in order to offer them some tools, some tips, some advice, some actionable feedback on, no, you're totally good. No bad at all. I just wanted to make sure that I correct, because otherwise people start like spamming the chat with like Ed Sheeran. It's like, that's not what we're doing here. Ryan, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for joining the stream. Jace, welcome into the live stream. I appreciate you joining as well. Yeah, you can, Ryan. You can. I do not have BandLab. I work on Pro Tools and have for probably about 18, 19 years. I know a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of artists on BandLab. So like I've worked with artists that utilize BandLab to track and stuff like that. But I do all of the work that I do on Pro Tools from start to finish. So studio tracking, like live tracking, comping, mixing, production, everything. I have other DAWs. I've used other DAWs many, many different times. But Pro Tools is kind of home for me. It's what I've used since I was quite literally 12 years old. So I'm very familiar with the interface and familiar with the layout, and that to me is very comfortable. I've thought about switching at different points and have tried a bunch of other DAWs and still have some, but to me it's almost just not worth spending the time to change interfaces. I'm very familiar with what I'm working with. And then Ryan, yeah, you can definitely suggest someone that you know, someone that you work with, someone that you want to help put on or help them get tools in what they're doing. If you want to do that, you definitely can. That's completely up to you. Anybody that wants to submit, just go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. All of those details are right there if you want to submit your music or submit someone else's music. Ryan, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Keep in mind that these are like detailed long-form consultations. So whatever music is being sent in, whether it's productions, whether it's, fresh mixes and revisions, whether it's, someone that their music, it's an artist, it's a producer. When their music comes in, we spend about 20 to 30 minutes really breaking it down. We listen to that track, usually 2 or 3 different times to really get into those details, really get into the nuances of what they're doing. So whether you're representing them or it's your own music, we're going to dive deep into it. We're going to do a deep dive on it. Also, keep in mind, Mr. Macto, if you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board. We're about to kick off our first song here in just a little bit. But yeah, what was I going to say here too? Thank you for the follow, Mr. Macdo. I appreciate that a lot. And we got David in the building. All right, David, as soon as I get your email in, we're going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and kick off the first tracks here. So let me get I believe this is a track that I've heard, but we got an update on the first mix. We heard the demo of it, and we got our first mix for this track ready to go. Vera, if you end up submitting, you can send me a link to your TikTok if that's the easiest. You have to follow the same process as everyone else, though, because we got to get you in line. We got to get everything organized and in order. That way, everything is clean and clear. So yeah, I mean, if you only we have a couple people that come in and they specifically send TikToks and or like Instagram Reels or stuff like that because it's the easiest way to show the thing that they're working on. You still have to follow the same process that we can get everybody in line ready to go. Okay. Give me just a minute here. I'm going to wait till we get... Perfect, dude. Sounds great. Sounds great. So we'll kind of reference that, look at affirming some of the things you already feel like you found in the structure of the mix and see if there's anything else that we need to revise before it gets sent for revision number 1. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Once again, if anybody would like to submit your music, if you're a producer, you're an artist, you're a musician, you're a songwriter, you're a vocalist, you're an engineer, whatever it may be, if you're looking for a professional second set of ears, you're looking for a detailed breakdown of your music, I can check out, as long as I have access to it, is it Ghostins? As long as I have access to it, I'll listen to whatever you send me, MP3 Wave, SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, doesn't matter to me. As long as I have access, Drive file, Dropbox, whatever, if I have access to the file, so we're not spending 15 minutes trying to get access to it, then I'll listen to whatever you send me. Yeah, Spotify's fine. Mathilde, thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, if anybody would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow all the details. If for whatever reason a link is not popping up for you, it's a random regional issue that TikTok has. You got to go over to Instagram or IG and look up the same link over there. I'm the same name everywhere, so look up Torvik Music on IG. It's the same link over there, and it should pop up for you. It's just a random regional thing that happens, and there's always 3% of people that can't find it for some reason. Okay, let's get into some music. We're going to kick it off right now. We got David Givens in the building. Let's go, David Givens. Here's what I found. What's there? Kick is prominent in the dance record. This should feel like a kick in the chest. Clear voice, clear drum, clear everything if it sits well. What's needed? Let's see. Emotion of the record is missing. Washy reverb sound is helping. The synths, pads, instrumentation feel distant from the voice at marker 206-220. Okay, I'll read through some of this as we're kind of going through the track as well. Let's see. Those vocal layers in the hook should be like a hauntingly beautiful Gothic cathedral choir. Ghostly yet mesmerizing at the bridge. Same thing. 134, make those ad-libs have that same ghostly vibe. Maybe reverb, echo, choir effects. Let's play with it. And the ad-lib, choir. Okay, yeah. So mainly like vocal texture changes, stuff like that. It's 85% of the way there, but the emotion needs to be there. Ghost is supposed to feel like you are running from your past and the old you until you decide to face it. It's adrenaline pump energy while sounding like a siren call in a sense. Yeah, I feel it. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right, this is Ghost by David Givens. We're about to dive into our first track. Once again, if anybody would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow the details. If you don't see the link, go to IG and look up Torvik Music over there. It's the same link, and you should see it over there. All right, let's dive in. It's that time. This is Ghost. It's downloading. Give it a sec. There it is. Boom. All right, let's go, David. I'm excited, man.
I try to let you go, but you're back in my head, and I keep moving on, but I keep hitting the dead end. Those memories of you are haunting me. Why can't you go on and let me be? When the raindrops falling, sing your name, but I won't go back, no, never again. I keep running away from all these memories. All I want is the death of the old me. What will it take for you to leave me alone? Don't wanna keep fighting with all of my ghosts. All of my ghosts. All of my ghosts. All of my ghosts. Try to pray you away, but even God said face them. Tried to ignore that plane, but the ghost sings sweet temptations. I'm tired of this running from me, but I gotta kill this version of me. When the raindrops fall, they sing your name, but I won't.
Thank you for the follow.
go back, no, never again. I keep running away from all these memories. All I want is the death of the old me. What will it take for you to leave me alone? Don't wanna keep fighting with all of my goals. All of my goals. All of my goals. All of my goals. Won't let the ghosts get to me. This is the death of the old me.
Trying to check timestamps as we go to make sure that everything lines up.
No, 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 no.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all show some love to David Givens. Show some love. Show some love. That's Ghost by David Givens. First mix back right now. Let's get into a couple details here and dive into a little bit more of the structure. Donna, thank you so much for the pop. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for your generosity. I appreciate the gift. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. A couple details in here. I'm going through. I'm kind of trying to re-reference timestamps and stuff. Timestamps as we go that are in the email, and trying to make sure I can kind of line up with the things that I'm picking up on in here as well. One of the things that you are running into is just like you already mentioned, kind of in the mix itself, is a lot of really dry vocal structure that needs to have a lot of impact in there, right? Ranger, welcome in. What's up? Welcome in, y'all. Appreciate you being here. No, you gotta send it. You gotta send it to the same place because I won't be able to pull it up on Instagram. It's got to go to the same email. I got to keep everything organized. That way it's lined in. So if you're over on Instagram, then just follow the link over there. Follow the link over there. It's the same link that we have over on this side, and it'll send it to my same email over there. So if you read through the steps there, it'll all go to the same place. Okay, so a little bit of what I'm hearing is just some of that dryness, right? And then a little bit of vocal control on the processing of the vocal itself that I want to kind of, polish just a little bit and kind of bring back under control. Because, you have an amazing voice, man. Great structure. It's a really, really nice hook. Great pattern. Great recognition here as far as like building in the algorithm of the song, the repetition of the song. I think it's fantastic. Colton, welcome in as well. So there's a lot that I love about this. I've already heard the song before, so I'm excited to get this first mix back. But let's dive into just a couple of these details right here. Let me see. You sent a reference here. I want to hear this really quick as well, so we can kind of compare that as well. Just want to kind of see a little bit of this real quick.
If I fall 9 times, then I'll get up 10. If I get
Yeah, some gang vocals.
down, I'll be back up. And if I fall 9 times, then I'll get up. The dog and that.
Yeah. Like, a really like strong gang vocal in the background, really like supportive vocal layers to me is going to be everything. And that's a little bit of what we're hearing, right? Is some of those vocals as being a little standalone, a little isolated. They don't have the support of other layers connected to them and or processing to give them some beef in the mix. Right now, they're kind of lonely, like we talked a little bit about even on the first demo. Sarah, thank you for the follow. So I would love to wake those up a little bit, and that's kind of what I want to. Goodness, I can't talk. What I want to talk about here. All right, let's run it from the top here. Let's get back into the details. Quick reminder that if anybody would like to submit for these 20 to 30 minute detailed long form consultations that we're doing here, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all of the details there. We're gonna keep the music going here in a little bit. All right, let's run it from the top. This is Ghost by David Givens. David, you're amazing though, man. You know I love your voice. So the biggest thing for me is I just wanted to feel supported in the mix. What's up, Sam? Welcome in. Perfect, perfect.
I try to let you go, but you're back in my head, and I keep moving on, but I keep hitting the dead end.
And on the actual vocal itself, right? I would love to, Ranger. Yeah, if anybody wants to submit, everything's at my profile. Go to the profile, click on the link. All the details are there. Yeah, I'd love to listen to whatever y'all have to send. Sounds good, David. Sounds good, man. And then keep in mind that these are all saved to the Red app too. If you want to go back and reference the VOD, the video over there after the live stream, you absolutely can. They're always saved there. This will be episode 68, I believe. Yeah, anybody who wants to submit, you can. I'm only taking a handful of songs. I'm going to be on for like 2.5 more hours. Nothing too long or too crazy. Okay, let me go back into this really quick. I want to get into this verse.
I keep moving on, but I keep hitting the dead end.
Okay, so on your lead vocal here, I like how forward it feels, and there's some nice elements of that where it feels forward, it feels nice and punchy and slicey. It's a little imbalanced to me on the EQ side, just a little bit, fairly smooth, I would say, fairly smooth compression, but on the EQ side, it's a little bit imbalanced, where the vocal to me feels a little bit thin, and maybe a little bit over brightened, maybe a little bit like high mid forward, and because of that, I think if you were to turn this up a little bit more, in fact, I turned it down just a hair when I first started playing it. It's a little bit abrasive in like the high mids, let's say, 3, 4K, and even some of the high, more of the high frequencies around like 9, 10K. It seems like it's imbalanced just a little bit, maybe a little bit over bright. Again, I like a bright vocal. I want it to feel, bright and open and really energetic and vibrant, but I don't want it to be piercing. I don't want it to be harsh at all. The test for that for me, and that I always kind of am asking myself and kind of consulting with other people on, is how loud can you turn up this mix before it hurts? You know what I mean? If it's too shrill, it's too brittle, it's too bright, whatever it may be, or there's some like unbeneficial resonance where something's ringing, if in the mids, you can't really turn it up that much before it really starts to hurt to listen to. So I want to find a balance to that, and a lot of that's happening in the high mids of your vocal. So that's where I want to kind of rebalance a little bit. And you have such a good voice, such great texture, great vibrato. I absolutely love your voice, man. What's up? Welcome in. I really want to feel the full, the full spectrum of that. And if you high pass too much and you take out a lot of that low end, you're losing a lot of the like natural characteristics of your vocal, the weight and the presence and the body of that low end of your vocal and the mid lows of your vocal. You're losing a lot of that energy. So I still want to get a little bit more of that, right? I still want to feel. In fact, give me 2 seconds here. I'm going to go to, because since we're here and we're talking about it, I think this will be helpful since you're taking some notes too. I'm going to go ahead and drop it into Pro Tools, and I'll kind of tell you exactly what I'm talking about. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to switch over here. Let's go here. There she is. All right, so I'm going to drop an EQ on there, and I'm going to kind of show you exactly what I'm talking about, so we can kind of hear it right here in the DAW. Let's go ahead and bring this master down so it doesn't clip, and let's. All right, so we'll kind of hear it in here, and I'll kind of show you what I'm looking at here, right?
I try to let you go, but you're back in my head, and
So you can see there's a lot of peak kind of right in here. Again, kind of a little bit more high mid. So like 2,000 to 4,000 hertz, like right here in this little section right here, we're getting a lot of activity. When that vocal cuts in, when the piano cuts in, hats, snare, high end of the kick, even kind of transients of the kick, you get a lot of this energy between like 1,000 and 4,000 hertz, like mids to high mids, right? Mids to high mids, right? So even leading into some of your higher frequencies, you get a lot of extra energy right there. You get a lot of like weight and body at the far low end, like subs. You'll see down here like 80 hertz, 60 to 100 hertz. There's a lot of energy down there. I love the way that feels. That feels really nice. But then the middle, past that point of like 200-300 hertz to like 800 hertz, you're missing a little bit of energy, right? Let's get into the main section right here.
I try to let you go, but you're back in my head.
Whoops. Let's go.
I keep hitting the dead end.
I'll double check in a second. I appreciate
Those
you.
memories of you.
So if we can rebalance this a little bit.
Haunting me. Why can't you go on and let me be?
I'm cranking this right now. I mean, look at that.
When the raindrops falling, sing your name, but I won't go back. No, never again. I keep running away from all these memories. All I want is the death of the old. What will it
that's the contrast, right? So on your track here, right? So you can see, I mean, you can see how dramatic I'm making these curves. Look how dramatic I'm making these. Yeah, like high mids up here, like a little bit, 3K, 4K, a little bit of, even a little bit higher up here. And then look how dramatic I'm making this. This is almost like a tilt EQ, like this is I'm almost 6 dB up at like 300 Hertz. I'm about a little over 4 dB down at like 2400 Hertz right here. And listen to the difference. I want to get into the hook. And what I'm hearing, again, don't do this on the master, do it on individual elements. Warmed up a lot. Individual elements here, where I'm pulling some of that mid forwardness out, right? Where it's a little resonant, like unbeneficially, everything sound is just resonance, but unbeneficially resonance, right? Where you're getting some ringing, it feels really slicey, a little bit brittle, and that vocal's a little bit thin. And I'm faking this kind of and reintroducing some warmth into the vocal, but also in the whole entirety of the mix, especially around, I mean, this is like 300, Silver, thank you for the follow, 300 to 600 Hertz, like 250 to 600 Hertz right there, regaining a lot. I mean, 5, 6 dB, that's a lot of energy that's changed right there. And that's giving you a huge shift in energy in the mix, right? Again, from here.
I keep running away from all the memories. All I want is the depth of the ocean.
Versus,
What will it take
this is
for
the
you
original.
to leave me alone? Don't want to keep fighting with all of my goals.
Back,
All
original.
of my goals.
It's like a completely different song. It almost sounds like the original's like filtered, right? Like it almost sounds like the original is like a completely different form of the mix. It's like all high passed and filtered out and thinned out, right? Even though you still have a lot of like the low end energy, right? Like here at the bottom of the mix here, you still have, 200 Hertz and below. You have a lot of energy right there. And this is literally just a 15-second EQ change right there. I would do this on the tracks themselves, like do it on the vocal. But what this is showing me is that the vocal needs more body. It needs more presence. It's too thin and too forward in those high mids. And the top of this right here, between a lot of your different elements right here, is offering you a lot of like harshness, right? So if I just help control that, I mean, this is not fancy. I could do this with a stock plugin anywhere. Like this is one little boost in the mids or like low mids and a little bit of a bell curve down in the high mids and just rebalancing it. And it's like a dramatically different experience. One more time. What's up, Min? Welcome in.
I keep running away from all the memories. All I want is
Original.
the depth of the ocean. What will it take for you to leave me alone? Don't
Right, it's like a totally different experience of the track, right? So those are the kind of the things that I'm listening for, the things that I'm looking at, where it's like the song itself has some great structure, but I think individual elements within the mix are running into some issues where they're either getting like too filtered out, right? Like they're too high passed, they're too low passed, like they're kind of too compartmentalized and filtered out in order to like make them fit in the mix maybe, which again, there's some pros to that. But what's ending up happening is a lot of the mix ends up sounding kind of thin. It sounds a little bit lifeless. So I go back and add more small things. You can, so if you feel like you need to fill it, so here's what I hear. Right? I'm going to get into this really quick. There's some stuff that I didn't know was there, right? So like, there's a really, there's a really nice, like kind of brassy, like Juno style pad in the background. What's up, Jenna? Pad in the background. That I absolutely love. I didn't even know it was there because all I could hear was like snare, kick, bass, and the vocal kind of slicing through. So like, I think some of those really like warm, soft elements in the background, those can be pushed forward to introduce a little bit more presence, a little bit more energy into the mix. Whereas right now, all of that's kind of been either just tucked way back in the mix or has been really thinned out in the mix. And by adding another EQ here, I could kind of reintroduce some life back into that. And it kind of brought it back to the forefront just by warming it up a little bit. A lot of those things you couldn't really tell were there earlier on. So I would love to just like regain some power through some of those elements. So first and foremost, what I would do is go back into the processing of everything, go back and make sure you're not like thinning things out too much. Make sure you're not filtering things out too much. Kind of allow it to, super distant. And you're talking about this feeling more ethereal. Ghostly was one of the words that you used in the email and stuff like that. More ethereal, a little bit more like ambiance and stuff like that. Right now, all that you have in the mix is like dry forward vocal. And then in the background, like, punchy drums, a thick bass, you know what I mean? Like, we're not getting any of that ambiance or that kind of ethereal, texture and aesthetic that you're talking about, because everything's fairly dry, fairly slicey, fairly forward. So if you want a little bit more of like that space and, ethereal nature and aesthetic, you want a little bit more ambiance, you want a little bit more depth to the mix, then I would definitely make sure that the elements that hold that in the track have space, right? And the things that maybe are a little bit more sharp, a little bit more transient, a little bit more punchy, maybe soften them a little bit. Jay Black, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Maybe soften them a little bit in the mix, maybe saturate a little bit better so they're not so slicey and punched, but they actually feel a little bit rounder, around the edges, a little softer around the edges. So things aren't, jumping out of the mix so much. Feed the Sun, thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate it. Little things like that. Let me go back to the original here. Now that we already showed that, let me take this out of the DAW. But I think you get the idea. And then when you're building your vocal layers, even in just listening to your reference for like 5 seconds, what I'm hearing is stacks of vocals, but I'm hearing gang vocals, right? So that's vocals on the mic, off access. It's layers of vocals in different registers, different keys, not all of them tuned, not all of them doing exactly the same thing, but kind of surrounding. You might have 2 vocals that you record in the middle of the room with the mic on. You might have a couple that are dry and they're forward a little bit, but all of those references that we're listening to and kind of the stuff that you're talking about, if you want more like space and depth and some of that vibe in the mix, then we need to create vocal layers on this dun 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 on those other vocals in the background. I want to make sure that those background layers right there actually have support, right? Right now they're lonely. There's a singular right there. And I want to feel like that has some support. It has some layers to it. That's going to help with some of the power that we're talking about. And it's also going to help fill out the rest of this mix where it doesn't feel like things are like either punchy right down the middle or super, super wide, but it has a little bit more, nuance to it. Okay, let me move a little bit deeper to this and then we'll move on. Actually, really quick, let me just double check here. I think, Sam, I got you. Let me get you up here on the board as well. Appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for that. And then Vera, I don't think I have a full submission for you just yet. So just double check that you did follow all of the steps. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I don't think I've seen the full steps here. So I got Davis, I got Sam up there. So if you did submit, or if anybody would like to submit, just make sure you go to the profile, go to the link, and then read through and follow all the details. Top to bottom, you'll send to the email that's right there. You'll send right up below. And that's all laid out there in the list. All right, let's keep it running. Let's keep it running.
Those memories of you are haunting me.
And I love some of these little backgrounds here are really interesting too. And another thing, if you're wanting to create more like space and it's like a little bit more eerie and stuff like that, you could have those haunting me. And you could have them like move left and right through the back of the mix with like a little bit of like a plate reverb or something like that. Create a little bit of depth on that vocal so it kind of feels like it's to the side and like behind you a little bit and kind of move it from one side to the other. So again, nothing feels too like static or right on the nose or punchy or, you know what I mean? Like things feel like they're ebbing and they're flowing and they're moving in a way that's really interesting, especially if you're trying to create a more, like this feels like very like clean and sharp as opposed to eerie and ghostly, with some of the words you were using, like eerie, ghostly, atmospheric, stuff like that. It's a little bit rigid. And so I would love for like things to move. I'd love for this to feel spacey. I would love a little bit more like reverb on those background vocals as well and stacks on those background vocals as well. So this feels, again, you're set into a little bit more space here. All right, let's keep it going. Let's get into the middle here.
Feel this version of me when the raindrops fall, they sing your name, but I won't go.
So like those little vocals in the background right there, those are so pointed and dry that I'm just hearing too much of like the voice doing the voice thing in the background that it ends up kind of stepping on the toes of the lead a little bit right there. So that's where I want that like back. I want that like back and wider and stacked and supported a little bit better. And then maybe a little bit more reverb on it. So you're not getting so much of the dry vocal back there, but you're getting the space that it's creating, if that makes sense. I think that, and based on your email, I feel like that's a little bit more of what you're wanting to hear anyways. Where like right now you're like, okay, this is good, but none of the layers or ad libs feel like they're there and they're doing good things, but they're not necessarily sounding like the vision that's in my head. And so I want to make sure that those background vocals do match more of the vision that you have in your head.
No, never again. I keep running.
Great hook. Great hook. It's so catchy. We would have the house back. I'll still be prison on a step. 100%. And they don't have, I think a lot of people and I'm speaking very generally here, obviously, but a lot of people feel like every reverb has to be like super long. Sometimes the best way, like, let me give you a quick, I'm gonna dump this on here just for the sake of showing it for 2 seconds. Like, one way, like, let's see. Oh, hello. That sounds crazy. You're gonna get the idea in a second. I'm gonna add like a quick gated reverb on my vocal, right? So like not every reverb has to be huge, right? I think like people add reverb and like whole reverb, huge, echoey forever. It's got to be 7 seconds long or 4 seconds long or something like that. There's something to be said of just creating depth. Like if I just want to set my vocal into space, I can set it. I mean, this sounds crazy, right? It sounds like I'm in a gymnasium, but here, all this is tight. This is 0.7 seconds. Even here, I'm going to go down to 0.3 seconds. This is 0.3 seconds, right? Even just having this on a set of vocals in the background can give it a little bit more of that choral nature, right? I can crank this. I'm gonna go down to 0.2 seconds, and I'm also going to pre-delay about 0.1. I'm gonna go about 15 milliseconds. So my pre-delay and my decay is really close. So I'm gonna have my lead vocal. We don't have to talk about this too much. I'm gonna have my lead vocal. I'm going to delay the start of the reverb by about 15 milliseconds, and I'm only gonna decay about 20. So everything's really tight. And this can give you this kind of almost chorus. It almost sounds like there's, a multiple of layers happening kind of all at the same time. It gives it a really interesting nature. So when we're talking about like, how do I make this eerie, or how do I make like these vocal stacks sound more interesting and have more nuance to them or whatever, like the use of space and reverbs, it doesn't all have to be like, if I go back, to like just like halls, right? Like just, it doesn't all have to be this. Like huge hall reverbs in the background. It can be really specific ways that you set the vocal in space, or set an aux of vocals, a bus of vocals into space, that makes it feel really interesting, and it's got like stacks to it. It's got a lot of energy to it. So that's some of the stuff that I would look for, is just like making sure that like your elements in this mix aren't too static. They're not too like, I'll use sterile loosely, but they're not too static. I want them to have some life to them. I want them to have some energy to them. That's not necessarily like just relying on super big hall reverbs and stuff like that. Okay, let me get back out of here. Okay, let's get back into the end of the track right here. But hopefully, I think a lot of what we're talking about can at least kind of guide the next revision of this mix a little bit more. So the big things for me is we need stacks on background vocals, especially dun dun dun. Those need stacks. Those need energy to them. We need gang vocals in there. A lot of your background vocals, all those like oohs and ahs and stuff like that, they need stacks. They need more. There's some octaves in there. They need doubles. We need a good amount of stacks and structure on those background vocals. And then we also need to make sure that processing mirrors the vision of the song. And then we need to warm up kind of the whole thing. Drums, vocals, some of the background synths and stuff like that. If an element is holding ambiance and you want ambiance in the track, make sure that that element is forward. If something's super slicey and punchy, we need to soften it a little bit, whether that's, percussion, synths, things like that. Okay, let me get into the outro here. I think if you do that alone, I think is going to transform the way this feels. There's some great layers in there. So like even there, there's some really good vocal licks that you have in here, almost completely dry, right? So when you start going through this waggle, you start hitting these really high vocals here. Incredible structure. Dan, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. You have like this beautiful vocal structure here. That's where I would like be slowly automating up a reverb a little bit right there. So as you start walking up, you start building in those notes. I would make sure that you're like slowly building in some like delay and reverb together, kind of moving up, so that when you start hitting the you start building these high notes right there, that you actually have all the space surrounding it that makes it feel like you're floating in space. Like this should be a massive climax to the song, right? Where there's space, there's energy, there's ambiance, it's atmospheric. If everything's just dry, then it's just your voice, right? It's just your voice, but you're not getting any of like the color and characteristics of the actual creative vision that you have for the song. So those are like the last little details there. The song is great though. The song is great. It's catchy as hell. Also, watch. I don't know. I don't think you have really any tuning on here at all. If you don't want tuning, that's a personal choice, 100%. There are some sharp notes in here, some of the lead-in notes going into some of the runs, some of like getting closer to the bridge. I think there's a couple little ad-libs in there that are probably 50, 60 cents sharp. Those are gonna be a little bit more obvious, obviously the more dry the vocal is, but also if you add a whole bunch of washed out reverb on there as well, you are then going to carry those sharp notes for the next 5 seconds, right? And you're gonna, or the next delay that's ping-ponging in the background is gonna be ping-ponging a note that is, 50, 60, 70 cents sharp. And that's not what you want to happen, right? Because then it's going to be more obvious. You're going to really hear that cut through the mix. So I would love to make sure at the very least, if you don't want any, if I do add it, could be, yeah, if you do add it, you could go incredibly minimal. I would start with something like Melodyne to just get some manual corrections. So if there's like, oh, that is pretty sharp, let me just drag it into place. Don't touch the whole entire project. You're like, oh, I came in on this line a little bit early. I'm just going to slide it over. This note over here was a little bit flat. Let me just bump it up. But you're not like automatically tuning everything, right? You're not just like copy all, put in key. You can keep it really subtle, be like, okay, this is obviously sharp. Let me drag it down, maintain all of your emotion, maintain all of your original takes and stuff like that. That's why Melodyne's great. You can just, kind of drag and drop things where you need them to be so that everything feels a little bit smoother, a little bit more controlled. And then if you want to kind of blanket that with a little bit more like shimmer and polish from auto-tune, then you can. And you can add that in, and you could go probably 40 milliseconds on your retune speed. It can be fairly humanized. You can keep your tuning structure pretty natural with auto-tune, and it'd be very transparent. What I would look for your vocal when it comes to tuning is transparency, not that you're hearing a lot of like the metallic artifact that comes with tuning at a lower retune speed and stuff like that. So if you want to add auto-tune, you can do it very, very transparently, right? Like think of even like an artist like Adele or something like that has tuned vocals in their structure, but it's like you don't know that it's there. The average person wouldn't even know necessarily that it's there, but there's little pockets that have been like dragged and dropped right there to kind of blanket it. There's definitely ways that you can keep it a lot more transparent. So that would be the request that I would have, right? If you're working with your engineer and like, okay, I do want some tuning on here. I do want to make sure that these are smooth. I obviously don't want it to be sharp or flat here because that's going to take away from people's experience of the song, and that's going to sound more abrasive than if it were just at least right in key. But I want it to be transparent. I don't want to hear the tuning. I don't want to hear my voice modulate between different notes. I want it to be transparent. I want it to be really, really smooth. So Melodyne, I would usually run first in Print, and then, or if you have ARA and Pro Tools, you can do that really easily. And then if you want to add auto-tune at like 40, 50 milliseconds, really smooth, really easy. Beautiful, dude. Beautiful. Yeah, we got to get some extra layers on there. Y'all show some love to David Givens. I love what you do, man. I love it. You're so incredibly talented. Mello, welcome in, Jersey, in the house. Welcome in from Jersey. I appreciate you being here. Please show some love. Please show some love. Yeah, it's a great track, David. I mean, we're honing in on a lot of details here because it's so good. Like, this is not like you need to like restructure this whole thing. This is like, you're wildly talented. You're very, very impressive as a vocalist. You have a great production structure here. And so I want to make sure that nothing takes away, right? Nothing distracts from how good the song and the structure actually is, because it's really fantastic, man. Y'all show some love. I mean, that's an addicting hook, man. It's so good. Let's go, Will. Welcome in. I saw you yesterday. Thanks for tapping in again, Will. I appreciate it. Mello, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it a lot. If anybody at all would like to submit, I just want this to be great, not just good. Yep, you're there, man. You're there. The song is there. Now it's about control. Will, you've been here the last 2 days. I've seen you with that picture come in the last 2 days. What are you talking about? Doesn't need perfection. Yeah, and music's not supposed to be perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to have nuances. It's supposed to have flaws. It's supposed to have a lot of the energy that we're talking about. And so, yeah, I don't want it to be like perfect and robotic and rigid. I want it to be like controlled and polished where it needs to be, but still hold all of the emotion and the drive that you want to have in the song. 100%, man. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love, show some love. That's David Givens. That's the family in the chat. Yeah, if anybody would like to submit, anybody at all would like to submit for a 20 to 30 minute detailed multiple listen consultation on the structure of your music, whether you want to get into the mix and master, you want to dive into your production elements, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting, whatever it may be, that's what we're here to dive into. These are long form, they're detailed. The goal is to offer as much value as possible and really get into the nuances of your music. If that is you, if that's something that would be valuable to you, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all of the details right there, and we'll get you up on the board ready to go. If you want to check the line order and minimums, you can do that at any point on the other platforms that we're live on as well. But yeah, if anybody wants to submit your music, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details. We'll get you up there. But yeah, it doesn't submit here in the chat though. All right, let's keep it going. We've got Sam in the building. So Sam, is this a new? Let me see something here. So is this? Is this like a new band? Talk to me. This is a rebrand. Okay, so not a new band, a rebrand. Yeah, is it Patria? Any genre, any level of quality, any level of preparedness. It is a new band. A new band. Okay, Andrew. Okay, yeah, talk to me. Talk to me. I'm very intrigued. Talk to me with what you can. This is Ghost Motion. The song is called Tokyo. I'm excited to get into it. We're starting from scratch, but mostly the same guys. Okay, let's go. At least we got Sam at the cornerstone of it. Okay, this is Ghost Motion is the name of the new band. Starting from scratch and rebuilding. Let's go, man. This song is called Tokyo. I'm intrigued. Give me some details. Give me some context. What might be a little bit different than I've experienced with East. Give me some, give me some changes that are happening there as far as like production mix. Maybe some details on that. DJ, thanks for the follow. Let's get into it, man. I'm excited. Okay, cool. Same lead. It sounds like the same lead, right? What's up, Biggs? That's what I thought. Cool. How deep are you in this song? I'll go to my profile, click on the link, Biggs. I got you. I've heard this before, right? Yeah. I was like, oh, damn. I was like, I know that hook. I know that hook for sure. It's a great hook. Good melody. Let's go. Welcome in.
So tell me why I analyze, compromise these things that I'm feeling inside. You bat your eyes, I sympathize and change my mind. No more waiting.
Thank you for the follow.
I'm fucking suffocating.
Love it. Great breaks.
So long, I'm gone.
Fire.
Back to where I once belonged. Down in Tokyo.
This is nice, man. Fantastic hook. Fantastic hook. Nymphia, welcome back in. Good to see you.
Drowning out this fire inside. I can't let it go. Down in Tokyo. A stranger coming home.
It's a great structure, man. God damn. Show some love, man. Show some love. That is Ghost Motion right here in the chat. Jasper, welcome in as well. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. If anybody would like to submit, we're going to keep going with some music here right now. If you would like to submit your music, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow all of the details. We'll get you all, up on the board, ready to go. Line is up on the other platforms, but y'all show some love to Ghost Motion right here in the chat. You'll see him a couple chats up. The song is called Tokyo. I heard a demo of the song probably 4 months ago, 5 months, something like that, 5 months ago, something like that. So this song has been in the works for a while. Dude, it's so good. It is such a good structure. It is catchy. It feels emotional. It feels really, really, really well done. So let's dive into it, man. Let's dive into it. You said this is releasing soon. Okay, I know we've edited so many things. I'm like, wait, which one is it sometimes? April 20, is it already in distribution? Same place, Biggs, same place. So wherever you saw the link at the email, just keep swiping down. All the steps are right there, man. I got you. Is it already out in distribution? Let me know. Isn't it? Just haven't made the formal announcement on socials. Let's get it. All right, let's run it back from the top, man. Let's get into some details here. I'm excited, man. And I'm excited for the rebrand too. This has a lot of potential, man. This has a lot of potential. It's a great structure. It's really, really well formatted. Let's get it. I also love that you've biased, like you said, a little bit less alt rock than some of the other stuff. We're getting a little bit more of like the cleaner chorus, like bucket brigade chorused guitars, a little like drier drum structure. Like we're kind of pulling back on some of the massive amounts of depth and ambiance. So this feels a little closer, a little drier. You're getting maybe a little bit more 80s sound design in there, which I love. Like there's a lot of texture that's been created because it's one of my favorite things about the 80s, even just kind of like elements of like 80s, 90s, yacht rock and stuff like that I feel like works really well. But even a lot of the sound design is when you're relying a little bit more, less on just like reverb, but on like slap delays and saturation and like brigade choruses and Studio D choruses and stuff like that. Fast modulation on the different elements of your music, your synths, your guitar, stuff like that. There's just so much like texture. You know what I mean? Like it's less like rigid where this is just distortion. This is just hitting a drum hard, which I love. I think it's fabulous when that's happening. But in this particular setting, there's so much texture and energy around the song. I really, really like the way that it sounds. Fits the vocalist a little bit more. Yeah, I agree. One more step. Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing fantastic. It's good to see you in the live. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into it. Piano is nice. The piano has a beautiful. What are y'all using for piano? It's a splice sample. It's got such a. It's got a really, really nice spread to it. I don't know if it's like the chorus on it or like the stereo reverb on it, but it's got this really, really open structure right here, like a really, really open structure. I love it. Minnie, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it a lot. No, you're good, Biggs. So if you sent an email, Biggs, did you send an email? Let me know. Let me see. I can check for it here. Let me know if you sent an email. Thank you for the follow, man. Okay, so if you sent an email, it's on that exact same page, exact same page. So where you saw like the steps right there to submit and you copied the email over to send it, just keep scrolling down, just keep swiping down and you'll see the different payment forms right there. Yeah, just on that exact same page, just keep scrolling down and it's just right underneath the steps that you already followed. Stevie K, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Let me see. What do y'all hate on power chords? I think Kurt Cobain follows. Oh yeah, I don't know, dude. Power chords are amazing. I think what they're talking about too is more so like sometimes you get stuck. Real Mike B, thank you for the follow. Sometimes you get stuck, right? Exactly. Like sometimes you can just go also to what's familiar. So this is a term that I'm kind of working out and stuff like that, but it's called peripheral writing. And I want to post some videos on this on YouTube as well, but like peripheral writing, where it's like you give yourself restraints you have to work around, where it's like, okay, I'm used to playing power chords. Power chords are great. They're beautiful. I love them. Sometimes they are all that a song needs to be gorgeous and just absolutely a wall of sound powerhouse record, right? So they're perfect, but sometimes you get stuck. Sometimes you're like, okay, I'm so used to going to like this, 808 pattern on FL Studio. I'm used to going to this hi-hat pattern. I'm used to going to power chords. I'm used to singing in the key of G major. Like I'm used to doing these things. So sometimes peripheral writing or peripheral production can be like, okay, I'm going to write a song. It is illegal to do power chords. We can't do power chords. And it just forces you out of that. And you start getting into other inversions of the chords that are still powerful and still really energetic. But you start getting into inversions of the chords. You start moving up your fretboard. You start doing things in a different key than you're used to. So that vocalist all of a sudden is hitting a higher note than they're used to. And all of a sudden the vocal seems like a little bit more open and powerful. So it's just like a way, like I do this sometimes with songwriting. I call it peripheral writing, where it's like, okay, I'm going to write a love song and I can't say this group of 5 words. I can't say love. I can't say heart. I can't say whatever, a couple other words, right? I'm going to write a love song that never mentions love. So how do I do that creatively, right? How do I work peripherally, and get out of my own, bubble and my own kind of bucket here as far as what I'm doing creative. So I'm assuming that's for that we feel that more pretty chord voicings fit the mood more. 100%. So that's why I always tell people to use tools in your writing and your production, because it keeps you from everyone's like, what do I do for writer's block? I'm like, have tools. You know what I mean? Like if you just have tools to work with, then you will always be able to get out of your own box. If you use object writing, peripheral production, you'll never feel stuck because you're giving yourself some limitations you have to be creative around, some time constraints, some verbiage constraints, chordal constraints and stuff like that. And it just kind of gets you out of your own box. It doesn't mean that they're like right or wrong or that you should stay away from this. Like never write in the key of C major. It's too easy. Like it literally doesn't matter at all. Make good music. That's all that matters. But sometimes having restraints and constraints can help you be a little bit more creative. Like there's been times where I'm like, okay, I am every single sound that I'm going to make in a song is going to be on the Juno. They're like every single one. Like I'm going to give myself a limitation. I got to make a powerful bass. I've got to make a really nice lead melody that's monophonic. I've got to have some beautiful like brassy chords in the middle. Like I'm going to use some restraints in order to force myself to be more creative and more intuitive with the way that I produce and the way that I go about like editing my synthesis and stuff like that. So anyways, that's kind of what we're talking about. Okay. So I wrote a song about God, but his label said he couldn't, so he replaced it with love. No, literally, it happens all the time, man. It happens all the time. Maybe they'll is in the line. Exactly. And that's what it is. That's all that it is giving yourself some restraints so that you're forced to make some more creative decisions. Okay, let's get a little deeper into here. And then really quick, I think this is okay, really quick. Let me know who just sent 5 through the website. Really quick. Let me know who that is, and then we'll keep rolling through the song. Down in Tokyo. It's so catchy, man. It's so catchy. It's ridiculous. It's a great song. Alistair, welcome in. Ecosystem, welcome in. Marty's welcome in. Marty's welcome in. Welcome in, Marty. Thank you so much for joining again. I appreciate you being here, y'all. My brain is on one today. Mike, we're doing fantastic, man. I appreciate you tapping in. Good to see you in here. I appreciate it. I think I saw some follows earlier as well. Thank y'all so much for the follows. I really appreciate that. You're good, Cyboy. No worries at all. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Just really quick, make sure that you double check all the steps. I have a half submission for you, so I just want to make sure that I get you in line with everyone else that's there. So when you go back to that link, really quick. Just make sure that you start at the top, read through, and follow all those details. That way, I can get you in line with everyone else, and we'll keep it rolling, man. I'm excited to hear what you got. Okay, let's get back into this Ghost Motion track really quick. If anybody wants to see the line, I'll double check it here in a second. Are your initials JL? Dom Coffin, welcome in. Is it JL Biggs? Is that you? Perfect. Okay, I got you. Let me get you up there. If anyone wants to check the line is always up. Excuse me, Jesus. It's always up on the other platforms that we're live on. So if you go to my link, you can go to either like red, I have to be coded over here, but red app or purple app, the other platforms that we're live on right now. The line is always up over there. So let me actually really quick, I'm going to get Biggs up there. I got you, man. I appreciate you so much. And then Sai, I'll double check for yours here in a little bit as well once we get everything updated on your end. Let me clear these really quick. We got maybe 4 songs. It's not going to be long today, y'all. It's going to be pretty quick. We got maybe 4 songs left today. I'm going to be on a max of 2 more hours. Dom, me personally, all genres, all the way across the board. We're going to listen to a ton of different music here and all different styles, all different genres. All right, let's run it. I literally have one thing that I hear. And Sam, you know me, you know my brain and the way that it works because you've submitted many, many times, man. I have like one thing that I hear that I would just be cautious of in the future, right? So like this song it's in distribution. It's coming out in like 3 weeks or whatever it is. You have an amazing structure here. It sounds gorgeous. There's so much about the musicianship and the layers and the structure and a little bit of like the call and response that you have going back and forth between like your top line and some of your counter melodies. It's gorgeous. I love it so much. So I got like one little detail as we get into it, and I'll kind of bounce around for a second, but that's it, man. It's a great record. Like, I can't wait for it to be out. I can't wait for everyone to be able to stream it. I mean, I love this. There's like a really beautiful, it's kind of in the background, offset to the left just a little bit with a bunch of chorus and reverb on it. There's a beautiful little brassy synth in the background. That was a Sly sample too. Here's what makes it great. Here's what makes it great is matching it with the guitar. So that's another thing you've done really well is you have this. Right, you have this beautiful melody in the background, but what you've done in order to make it feel a little bit more yours, a little bit more attached to your production structure, I think it's matched with a guitar melody on the left side as well. That just makes it feel a little bit more involved in the production than like, oh yeah, we dropped a loop on here, or we dropped a sample on there. Those little textures in there make a big difference. So yeah, I don't really care how things happen. As long as it makes sense and it works, right? Yeah, the painting helps. The painting helps, and the layering in there makes a whole lot of sense as well. No worries, Biggs. I got you. I will be on tomorrow, probably early afternoon tomorrow. I'll be on for maybe just a couple hours. I would say Central Time more often than not. Or what am I talking about, dude? It's always Central Time. I'm always right here. The fuck am I talking about? It's going to be Central Time for sure. As a fact, it's usually about 2 or 3 p.m. Central Time. Tomorrow when I hop on. I got you in the Biggs. I'll get you saved. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. So, and I'll probably be on tomorrow. I'm pretty sure I'll be on for maybe 4 or 5 hours. So I should be on for a good amount tomorrow. Just got to finish all my projects earlier in the day, and then I'll hop on for a couple hours. We almost cut the dude. Absolutely. I got you, Biggs. I got you on the board already. So literally if you hop in tomorrow, the day after that, whatever happens, let me know. As soon as you hop in, I'll just pull up your name again. We'll put you straight back up on the board, man. Appreciate you so much, man. Thanks for tapping in today. I appreciate it. You can really hear his style as a producer. Hearing the first one he sent, it's really clean. 100%, man. 100%. But honestly would be, let me see. We almost cut the guitar arpeggio, but I insisted on keeping it, but honestly would have been okay to cut it. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of where it just comes down to how much space you want to create, what is feeling noisy to you, what is feeling like a constraint on the mix, or what you feel like is making it more vibrant, what's making it more interesting and more dynamic to listen to. I like a lot of the movement between the synth melodies and the arpeggio on the guitar, that little high melody right there, I feel like is in a really, really good spot. But not sure if I add another 5. Yeah, minimum's 10. That's what I was saying to double check it. And that's why I was saying to double check it. I got half. I got your 5. So if you add that, we'll get you up in line. I don't think Biggs is here, so you might go a little bit, or Biggs is going to head out for a bit. So you might go a little bit faster as well. Yeah. I got you. I just want to make sure I get you on board with everyone else. That way we don't miss out on it. Okay, let's get into the second verse and second hook here for just a moment, and I'll tell you kind of the only thing that I'm hearing. But this is beautiful, man. It's a great record. It's honestly, it's mixed really well. It's produced beautifully. Sam, I think drums, right? You're on the drums I'm assuming in this band as well. I know it's largely the same structure. He's a fantastic drummer. They're all very, very, very talented. So I need y'all to first and foremost, this is a fresh, I was like, I'm assuming that's the same. You just randomly switched instruments. But Ghost Motion right here. They're a fresh, kind of fresh revision of a band. So definitely go show them some love and support. Make sure that you follow the band. The last band that Sam was a part of, the last structure, they made some phenomenal music as well. Very, very talented. So you're going to want to be along for the journey with what they're doing as well. They're fantastic. So good.
I'm feeling inside. You bat your eyes. I sympathize and change my mind.
I got you, Sai.
No more waiting.
Beautiful.
I'm back.
These breaks are absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, crushing it. Sai, I got you. I just got the 5, man. I appreciate you. Let me back it up a little bit here. Yeah, I mean, there's so much about this production. Again, I've heard this production probably 4 or 5 months ago. It's very, very, very well structured. It's well performed. It's good musicianship. Good. I mean, just even like instrument setup is great. I mean, great tone from the guitars, great tuning and structure on the drums. Like, this sounds fantastic, man. It sounds really, 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 really nice. Okay, I'm gonna give the one thing in the whole thing. This is going to sound like BS. Thank you for the follow, just because it sounds so good. So I hate to even say anything at all because it sounds wonderful. It's coming out in a couple weeks. Just run with it. The only thing is, I think the thing you were already kind of intuitive about, you're already kind of, thinking when it came to this whole song structure, is there is a lot going on, right? There's a lot going on, especially in the mids and the highs, like mids, high, mids to highs. There's a lot that's just happening right there. I like all the things that are happening. So I like the drums. I like the openness of the overheads. Love the slap delay at the high end of the vocal there, filtered out just a little bit. Love the saturation. Synths sound amazing. I mean, they're washy, they're vibrant, they're open. Love the arpeggio on the guitar. Like, dude, I love it. It's so good. It's so good. So I love everything that's there. So for me, this just comes down to how do we create space? Probably to me, like the best way that and there might already be some of this on there, right? It might just be dialing and kind of morphing it just a little bit. Absolutely whatever, Vadis. Am I saying that right? Vadis, thanks for tapping in. Blue is in the building. What's up, Blue? Welcome in over on the Red app. Yeah, any style, any level of quality, any genre, all the way across the board. We got people that are sending in voice memos. We got people that are Grammy nominated. It's going to be, we had someone Grammy nominated yesterday. It's all over the place. You're going to hear a ton of variety and a ton of different genres and levels of quality. So you never have to feel like insecure that something's like released or is it good or whatever. Like it's, that is, okay, perfect. I want to make sure I get it right. I appreciate the correction. Okay. So here's the thing that I would do, man, is set that vocal against an entire instrument bus, and on that instrument bus that has honestly probably everything. And you can have like multiple stages of busing here, but have one instrument bus where you at least have like a mid-side EQ going on, where that lead vocal sits. You can create a little bit more space where most of like the fundamentals of that vocal lies, like let's say 600 to 1200 hertz, right there in the middle of the vocal, just in the center channel. Because most of your vocal, if you listen here, most of the vocal, most of it's right there down the, I feel it coming. Most of it's right down the middle in mono, right? Center channel. Now you have layers that pop up on the outside, but those are fine. Those are holding their space. It makes it feel nice and wide. That lead vocal right down the middle is what gets kind of washed out by the guitars, by the reverb, by the synths and stuff like that. So I want to create a little bit of space for that vocal to shine a little bit more, especially in the center channel. And of course, you can always reintroduce a little bit more of the energy back inside, right? So as an example, you got your lead vocal right here on your instrument bus. At a mid-side, I use Fab Filter for this. At a mid-side, and in fact, I'll just show you really quick, right? So let's say, I'm gonna put it on the master right here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But just as an example to kind of show you what I'm talking about. So if most of the fundamental frequencies of the vocal are, especially that lead and kind of it's in space right here, it'll be EQ. Yeah, it would actually be just an EQ. There wouldn't be any extra panning, any extra pushing of the fader. Yeah, it'd all be, so it'd actually be right here, right? So I'm going to pretend that this is on the master. I'm just going to open this up here so you can see. So let's say your vocal's not doing anything. Your vocal sits exactly where it is right now. What you're going to do is I use Fab Filter for this. There are other EQs. I think even the EQ in Ozone does some mid-side. I don't mess with it. I use Fab Filter for any of the more surgical things I need to do for EQ because it just works. But what you're going to do is you're going to go to where the fundamental frequencies of the vocal lies, like where most, and this is going to be different based on the vocal, based on the range and register of that vocal, so on and so on. But for the vocal that I'm hearing here, you're probably around like 600 to 1200 hertz, right? So I'm going to find a little pocket right in here. So let's say we're going to go like 900 hertz, kind of like right here in the middle, right? 6 to 1200 hertz. Let's go maybe 700-800, kind of right here in the middle. So I'm going to go and give this a little bit of a notch, let's say about 3 dB. And in stereo placement here, again, this is the way it's going to work on my side. I'm going to go just to mid. So this is actually going to only affect the center channel. So I'm actually not pulling out those mids on the entire like stereo spectrum and stereo field, right? I'm actually not touching the stereo at all. I'm only pulling this out of the center channel, right? Only out of mid right here. So where that vocal sits in mono, all of the instruments are going to have a dip where most of those fundamental frequencies are, but the stereo is still going to sound super wide and super open and super dynamic. How wide you go here, how deep you go with this bell curve, obviously is up to what you hear. It's up to how it sounds and how it affects the mix and all of that stuff. But if you feel like you are losing some energy, what you can do is then add another right here. So I'm going to add another curve. I'm going to right click here. I'm going to go to stereo placement. I'm going to go side. This is going to affect only sides. So now what I'm doing is my mid channel, I'm carving energy for the vocal, and then I'm reintroducing that exact same frequency profile. You can do it however you want. You could go a little bit higher if you feel like it. Thank y'all for the follows. I appreciate it. I'm going to reintroduce, I'm going to pull out of middle where the fundamental of the lead vocal is. So it stays clean, clear, punchy, slicey right down the middle. And I'm going to reintroduce that exact same frequency profile and bell curve back into the mix and give it a little bit of a boost actually in wide, like in stereo, inside all the way to the outside. So you never miss out on some of the energy of those guitars and synths that you're pulling out of the middle. You got to be tasteful with this, but this is also a great way to offer you some like perceived width and some like a really, really open mix. Cause you can have like some guitars where it's like a little muddy in the middle. So you pull some of the energy out. So the bass and drums feel really snappy. The vocals feel really snappy. And then you just introduce on your guitars, really bright frequencies, like some really open high end right here on the outside. And I only do it in stereo. So I'm not increasing, in this case, I'm not increasing 9,500 hertz in the middle of the mix at all. I'm only increasing it on the far outside, right? And that just gives you a little bit more openness, a little bit more like perceived width and perceived energy on the outside of the mix, right? So this is something I would do it like here in the middle, right? If you're trying to, right, the guitars can be, and you can do this element to element, right? If there's ever a part of the mix where I have things that are running into each other, there's of course a billion different ways to affect it, right? You can give them space in levels. You can give them space in panning and positioning. You can give them space, obviously with like EQing and filtering this out and putting this in its own place. You could give them space by side chaining and doing some multi-band stuff. There's a lot of different versions that offer you, different ways of like positioning your different tracks. But another way is just like, oh, these two things are competing right here. So I'm going to carve space in one in the middle, and I'm going to introduce different space in the outside and give it some fresh energy on the outside. That we don't even have to worry like that. This isn't, if your rhythm guitars are, let's see, what do we have them look at? Like if your rhythm guitars are muddy and boomy or something like that, of course you can carve some space on the EQ side, but you could also just pull out some of those lower frequencies. Like you could go from 100 hertz to 300 hertz and only pull that out of the center channel where the bass is and where the sub bass is or whatever it may be, right? The 808s are or something like that. You could pull that out of only what's happening in mono where the sub is, and keep a lot of that heaviness and that power, that energy on like a double track guitar on the outside of the mix, right? There's a lot of different ways to kind of format this. Luke, thank you for the follow. Yeah, so that mid side is a great way to get your like mix to wrap around the vocals so it feels super tied together, really, really cohesive without just having to like widen the mix, like Haas effect, like change timing and color and push everything to the outside and create phase issues or just crank the vocal over the top of the mix. We're like, okay, well now the vocal is just way louder than everything, but it's kind of shrill. I'm losing headroom. I'm over compressing to make sure that it fits. Like you're not just force feeding the vocal over the top of the mix. You can just carve space in the middle channel and the stereo channel, however you want to across the entire frequency spectrum to create, some of that energy and give it its own space. Exactly. Sometimes it is, it really depends on the song. I mean, I'm just listening to the song that's in front of us, but like, depending on the song, sometimes you're like, yeah, 2 dB of the vocal over the top is good, or a little bit tighter compression so the vocal doesn't fall back as far. There's different ways to mitigate some of that falling of the vocal, but sometimes you just gotta push it over the top. Okay, let me get this EQ off of there. Let's go. Hold on one sec. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that I experience with y'all's music is you just like all of the things. Dude, I'm the same. I'm the same way. Sometimes when I'm working on my own stuff, my stuff can get noisy because I like all of the things that are there. You know, like I'll add a sick like lead synth, and I'm like, dude, this is killer. I want it to be there, and I want it to be loud. I'll add some cool drums or like 3 different snares that are all layered together. I'm like, dude, this is killer. I want to hear all of them loud. And then the reality is, it's like, okay, well, there's not space. So do I chain it? Do I carve space in EQ? Do I go mid side? Do I, you know, how do I pan them slightly, offset and pull one back? Do I filter this accordingly? Like, how do I make sure that this all fits? So yeah, that to me is like the one thing is like, I love all of the things that are there. Just make sure there's space for the non-negotiable of the mix, obviously being a lead vocal that sounds really powerful and prominent. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love, show some love, show some love. That's the family right there, Sam. I appreciate you so much, man. You know I love and adore what y'all do. I love what you're doing on the percussion side. You got a pocket that doesn't quit, man. It's so good. It's really, really well structured. That's a fantastic song. It's going to do phenomenal just based on what's there. Don't even worry too much about what we're talking about here. Just in the future record, just again, fight for space, fight for separation and clarity so that you can make sure that that vocal always sits exactly where you want it to while also still having all of the things that you want in the mix, because I still want all those things there. Show some love one more time. Ghost Motion, brand new band. Show them some love and support. Go follow them. I appreciate you, Sai. Sai, it's your time to shine. It's your time to shine. Let's keep it going. If you want to submit, y'all, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all of the steps there. We're doing these 20 to 30 minute deep dive consultations on the structure of your music. I'm only going to be live for another hour and a half. Is it Main Chi? Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. We're only going to be live for like maybe 3 more songs or something like that. Sounds good, Blue. Let's see. Let me double check a few things over here real quick. But yeah, if anybody would like to submit, these are 20 to 30 minutes a piece. They're really deep dive, like long form and analytical consultations. We listen to your track 2 or 3 different times to really get into those details, where we're going to talk through your mix, production, sound design, lyric and song formatting, stuff like that. So if you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details, and we'll get you up on the board ready to go. We got Sai in the building. Let's go, Sai. Let me get you up here real quick. Because I just got it earlier. Perfect. You're up. You're ready to go. I'll put you ahead of Biggs because Biggs is out for a moment. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. Let's keep it going. But yeah, I think I saw, is it Runa? Let me see. Yeah, Runa. A couple other people that were asking and stuff like that. If you want to submit, all of that happens at my profile. All of that happens at the link. That way we can keep everything organized and everything in the right order. All right, we got Cyboy in the building. This is Echoes of Change. Just a quick warning, I'm self-taught in both writing and producing. Had FL for 2 years now. Let's go. No worries, Vadis, no worries at all, man. No, there's never any pressure. Feel free to hang out, chill for a little bit as well. It's a very generous community. We always got people supporting in here. So I would just encourage you to be a part of the community, collaborate with people, connect with people, and we'll dive into the details. We'll dive into the details, man. And yeah, if you end up wanting to submit any other time out, I'd absolutely love to hear what you got, but I don't ever want you to feel any pressure. So be as harsh as you, oh wait, hold on. Just a quick warning. What's up, Howlermouth? Just a quick warning. I'm self-taught in both writing and producing. Okay, right. So be as harsh as you like. Really looking for great advice. I got you, man. We are going to be pointed. We are going to be analytical. We are going to be very specific. But I love music, man, and I love people that make music. So I am not going to be rude for the sake of being rude or anything like that. But we are going to be pointed, and we're going to target the things that need improvement because I'm passionate about that too. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Gibran 100%. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, but thank you for tapping in. If anybody wants to submit, profile, link, read through all the details. We'll get you up there. I got time for like 3 songs. I think 3 more is all I have time for. This is Echoes of Change by Cyboy. Let's run it. And this is just on SoundCloud right now, so I'm assuming it's unreleased, right? Also give me, you said you're fairly fresh. Sorry, I'm reading again. Writing and producing. So I'm assuming that this production is yours, right? I'm assuming that what I'm hearing is your production, and I don't know if you're doing vocals, but yeah, give me some details. Give me some context on the role that you play in your music, stuff like that. I'm excited to, you said writing and production. So all Cyboy, let's go. Echoes of Change by Cyboy. I'm excited, man. If you want to give any other details, drop it in the chat. I like this like a Mellotron style tape sampled flute in the background. That's cool.
Yes, I'm walking a thin line. The shadows of my past creeps in my mind's eye. In my thoughts, I feel attacked like it's the first time.
Okay.
And I would never want to go back.
Okay, nice.
No.
Very cool, man.
Split decisions and choices that I live with. Every day I do my best to always fight and make a difference. My soul was so detached from always living in division. I couldn't see the impact of my dumb decision. So I chose to detach.
Super fan Benjamin Russell, welcome in.
Hard, it follows closely, so you got to be strong. Internal struggles fought with integrity.
What's up, Ben? Welcome in.
To pull the strength you have within to break it free. I keep on moving like flowing water, carving out rivers that will not falter.
I like the bones of this, man. It's got a lot of potential.
Kept pushing farther.
Gotta clarify. We gotta balance. But there's a lot of potential here.
I said now feelings regulate and habits replicate your current inner traits and the way that you portray who you currently convey. So be greater than you say. Break out the cycles of your pain. Don't let the chains.
Brando, is that the 10 that just came in?
Split decisions and choices that I live with. Every day I do my best to
Okay, cool.
always fight
Beautiful.
and make a difference.
What's up, Time Mine?
My soul
Okay, perfect.
was so
Got you.
detached from always living in division. I couldn't see the impact of my dumb decision. You keep on looking back, you're never going to see what life has for you next. Stop the stagnant pattern of just waiting for your next test.
Oh, wait, that was you?
Take
Hold on.
control of present moments to determine the steps. Don't get complacent.
Wait, which one?
In positions that you like to keep on moving like flowing water, carving out rivers that will not falter.
JD.
I
Who's
keep
JD?
stronger,
Let me know who that is.
kept pushing farther. Nothing could stop me if I didn't wanna.
Got you. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for that. Okay, so I'm still waiting on Brando's. No worries, no worries. I was like, well, hold on, let me make sure. Just recently got some new plugins too that have been adjusting my mixes to, mainly being Vitamin. Okay, awesome. Let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Hold on. What the hell's going on there? All right, y'all show some love. Vocal writer. Oh yeah, you got the Waves bundle. Shout out to the Waves bundle. Was it in the track to your email, right? Brando, yeah, if you want to submit, if anybody wants to submit, you got to go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow the steps from there. I got time for 3 more tracks. I already have at least 2 up. Music entrepreneur, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. So go to my profile, click on the link, and then start at the top, read through, and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board. We'll get you in line. If you want to check the line is always up on the other platforms that we're live on, so you can see everything that's up over there. Got you. Okay, sounds good, Brando. I'll double check for it. And we got Ben in the building. Let's go, Ben. Shout out to Ben. I'm always excited to hear. Got you. I got you, man. I appreciate you so much. Let me get you up there, and then we're gonna run it. Sai, I'm excited to get into this. Let me see. Ba-ma-ma. Let's see. Got you, Benjamin. Appreciate you so much, man. All right, let's run it. Let's get it from the top. This is Echoes of Change by Cyboy. Okay, Cyboy, a couple quick things. I love that you just got, you said FL Studio like 2 years ago. So you're just getting into a lot of these production details. You're just kind of diving into the world of mixing, which is, it is another language. It is another world. I think you're doing a great job of like, you're understanding structure. You're understanding like how to like build different formats and sections of your song. For me, the biggest thing is we're going to talk about a couple ways to make sure your production elements are a little bit more cohesive. It is a very deep rabbit hole. Make sure that the production is a little bit more cohesive, and also making sure there's one other thing I was looking for. I'm going to back it up over here. There's one other detail And then, yeah, okay. So we'll focus on some of like the non-negotiables, right? And some of like the cornerstones of your mix here, of production keys, stuff like that. And then also making sure that your balance is in a place where you have good separation and good distinction between all of your different production elements, right? All right, so let's run it from the top, because I like this first start that you have here. This like a mellotron flute in the background. I think sounds awesome. You have good, clean like lead melodies right here. One of the things that I'm noticing is I don't think most of the time that your 808 follows some of the same progressions as some of the other elements that you built in either in loops or MIDI. So I want to make sure that like the 808 actually matches those melodies and matches the rest of the other structure that you have there. You have that kind of classic reggae pop in the background on the and, so the boom, bum, 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 bum. You have that little stab in there that I think sounds great. We just got to make sure that all of these like three main elements that are kind of the building blocks of your production match. They point in the same direction. They're all lined up, right? So in this case, that's obviously going to be like 808, your chords in the background, and then that lead flute that you have, and of course a couple other elements. But that's where I want to start. Are you doing any like pitch shifting on any of these layers too? Like any like retuning or repitch shifting or of any of the layers that you have in the background there too? Just because the flute itself is a little bit out of tune, which is like fine actually. It gives you a little tension, a little bit of dissonance, which I don't mind. But it is a little bit out of tune. I'm curious if on FL Studio you're doing any sample manipulation where you're retuning it or repitching it or anything like that. So I want to kind of clarify. I want to kind of get Brandon, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I kind of want to get into some of the progression here and see if we can't match it up a little bit closer. I'm going to pitch shifted the entire master minus 200, but don't really remember since it was a couple weeks ago that I did this one. Okay, so I wouldn't be doing, excuse me, unless you're like really comfortable and really familiar like with your production process and your DAWs, I wouldn't be doing any major stylistic decisions on your master, right? Like in this case, you pitch the whole thing, 2 semitones, you're resampling all of this stuff, you're doing some manipulation of your signal before there's like a really, really strong, understanding of even like the key progression and stuff like that. I would hit a couple little resets right here. If you feel the need to pitch everything down, I would just do it within your sample, right? So if you're doing it on the master right now, unwind that just a little bit, get it back up to flat. And if you're like, okay, I actually want those, I want that, maybe there's some other samples that you have in the background. Maybe it's the chords that you have. Maybe it's this, this little melody that you have with like the mellotron flute in the background. If that feels like you just actually want it to be a little bit lower so that you can sing a little bit more comfortably on the track itself, then do that within the sample. Don't do it on the master, because then the master is going to affect everything. It's going to create artifacts for everything, and you're going to lose a lot of control over your individual signals if everything is kind of coming up against the processing changes you're doing on the master. So if you want things to pitch down, just drop your MIDI down 2 semitones if you have MIDI in there. Just double click on your sample that you have in there if you have samples or loops in there, and drop those down 2 semitones. That's negative 200. So on FL Studio, the 100 is a semitone, right? So if you go negative 100, that's 1 semitone. If you go negative 200, that's 2 semitones or 2 notes down, right? So if you want to drop it down, do it on the sample, do it in your MIDI. Don't do it on the master, because then you're going to lose some control over your pitching, over your artifact and stuff right there. Okay, so that's kind of step 1. So I want to clarify the progression in the background. Hold on, let me go back. Because you can actually hear that the whole, it's probably not even exactly negative 200, I'm assuming, because you hear how like the piano sounds out of tune? It's like a little out of tune from like the whole beat. And that's because there's probably just a little bit of a dip right below negative 212, negative, 223 or something like that. Morphine piano that I think that I retuned. Yeah, check it. It's happening on the flutes too, though. So I do think it's something on the master. But even if you're detuning it, so just be careful of the exact semitones that you're retuning it to make it feel, still eerie and interesting like you want it to. But at the same time, it still connects with all of the other elements that aren't detuned, right? So it doesn't feel out of tune to the things that are strict in their tune, like the 808 and the flutes and stuff like that. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm excited, Benjamin. I'm excited, man. Okay, let's get into this progression really quick. So here's your main progression is kind of over this D minor, E minor to the A. So you have this. All right, this is like the main structure, I don't mind it, right? I like it. That's got a great feel to it. So what we need to make sure, and again, as far as notes go, and as far as like scaling goes, this is a D. Like if you're going by bass line, it's a D, E, A. That is the actual notes that your chords are following. The piano chords are following in the bathroom. In the bathroom, Jesus, in the background. What am I talking about? So you have basically this. Right, that's kind of the core of what's happening. I love it, right? So now we need to make sure that is the core of the song. That is the feeling and the emotion and the driving force between how the song feels, what it's doing, and what everything else needs to be doing over the top of it. So we need to make sure that the bass matches that exactly, right? Or you can have some movement in there. What's up, Philip? Welcome in. We can have some other movements in there. We can have some other fun stuff in there, but the bass needs to largely be D, E, down to the A. That way it's locked in and it's super, super clean. So that's what I'm going to listen for here, and we'll kind of see where it hits.
Yes, I'm walking a thin line. The shadows of my past creeps in my mind's eye. In my thoughts I feel attacked like it's the first time. And I would never want to go back. No. Split decisions and choices that I live with. Every day I do my best to always fight and make.
I think you're starting on an F.
Never want to
I'm in here.
No. Split decisions and choices that I live with. Every day I do my best to always fight and make a difference. My soul was so detached from always living in division. I couldn't.
I think, and again, it's hard. It's so low. Like some of the really low pushes that you have are really, really low. So sometimes it's kind of hard to pick up just because it's so low that it kind of breaks apart a little bit. The only person to be looked at always on. Thank you, Benjamin. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, that's the 808. It's super, super low. So you're losing a little bit of like the note clarity, right? Like when this gets so like, right, when it just kind of breaks apart at the bottom right there. Udaro, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you a lot. You can get your head. It's probably helpful. And it's usually pretty helpful. Really wanted to thump on the speakers. Hey, thanks for joining. I appreciate the follow a lot. Okay, really wanted to thump on the speakers, right? So some of that's going to come through the way that you process. Of course, the key, you're actually going to get more thump out of some like your higher 808s here than your lower ones because it's so low, it just kind of loses a lot of its clarity then. You're actually going to get more out of these higher ones than that low one. It's like going to be unprocessable. It's going to hit like, 20 hertz, 30 hertz and below. You're barely actually going to feel a lot more of that higher register. But really quick. So the one thing that I want you to focus on, and then there's processing, saturation, chorusing, stuff like that can help you build out a little bit more energy from your 808s as well. Okay. Let me get into the progression. It sounds like loosely.
The impact of mine, I'm walking. Yes, I'm walking a thin line. The shadows of my past creeps in my mind's eye.
Okay, so it sounds here, if I'm hearing it correctly, it's hard because it's so low, right? It sounds like you're starting on the F. Then maybe to the A. Like that's kind of the part of the structure right here. But you're starting on the F as opposed to starting on the what would be the D. Right, the original progression. So what I want you to do is you're going F, E, I think low A. What you probably want to do, what's probably going to sound a little bit cleaner and have more energy behind it, is if you go D, E to the A. So D off the minor. It's going to match the piano. It's going to match the melody of the flute that you have over the top. It's going to give you a little bit more energy. Everything's going to it's going to fit together. Yeah, it's going to feel tighter because right now you're getting a lot of mud. You're getting a lot of just dissonance and tension and stuff like that because you have elements that aren't quite matching up where you basically have this happening at the same time, right? The piano's here. So you basically have kind of matches up for a second, right? And then it moves. But then when you go back to that chord again, and both on piano, it doesn't sound as bad, but you have do, and then you have that piano over the top end, there's a lot of mud and there's a lot of tension between these two things happening at the same time with two different instruments. So if you can line it up on the D and then go to the E down to the A, or even a higher A if it fits a little bit better with that 808, it's gonna make it sound way punchier and way more engaging to listen to.
My thoughts, I feel attacked like it's the first time, and I would never want to go back. No. Split decisions and choices that I live with. Every day I do my best to always fight and make a difference. My soul was so detached from always living in division. I couldn't see the impact of my dumb decision. So I chose to detach, but old habits die hard. It follows close.
Okay, really quick, we'll chop through a couple quick things. I just want to get more into the foundation here. So leveling wise, you have fairly heavy 808. Don't mind that. We want a heavy 808. Drums are fairly light. With these drums, what I would do is I would send them all to a bus. And this is interesting on FL Studio, the way that you route, but you can watch some YouTube videos on this. I don't mind the actual sequencing that you have right there. What's up, MSP? Good to see you. I don't mind the actual sequencing, the actual program that you have right there, but I do think that you could use some saturation on some of the percussion that you have. So I would have all those drums going to one place and then just saturate and crunch it up just a little bit. It's going to give a lot more weight to your snare, a lot more just beef and crunch and weight to the snare. It's going to give a little bit more texture and character. To a lot more weight to your kick, a lot more weight, a lot more beef to the kick, and then a little bit more texture and a little bit more color to the snare as well. It's just going to make it really kind of come to life. Feel like it's got more weight to it. It's going to feel a little bit more energetic, and it's also going to help control it. It's like a natural compressor. It's going to help control it a little bit as well. If you want a free one, get Saturation Knob. Saturation Knob by Soft Tube. I love it. I love it, Sai. I'm excited. Get Saturation Knob by Sai Tube. I can't talk today, y'all. Saturation Knob by Soft Tube. It's free. It's free and it's awesome. It has like 3 really simple controls where you can maintain low end and saturate high. You can maintain, or you can saturate full spectrum. You can maintain high and saturate only the low end, and then regain stage after that. And then you can save presets and save profiles on there as well if it's helpful for you. I use that on, even though I have a bunch of I love Decimor, I love Decapitator. There's a bunch that I really like, and I have a bunch of other tube saturator emulations and stuff that I really enjoy. Magma Tubes is great for that. But Saturation Knob is free and it does a great job. It does a great job. So I use that on drums all the time, even though I have paid ones. I use it on drums a lot. It's nice. Sometimes it's like a quick fix. Throw it on there. flip it up until you hear it kind of break up a little bit, and it sounds great. Then that'll help with the drums. It'll help like beef them up and help them compete in the mix with the 808 and some of the other elements. And then that flute melody, I would pull back on a little bit. I want it there. I want it vibrant. I want it poppy. I want it to cut through, but I don't want it to interrupt the vocal. I don't want that to cut in and then actually lose some of the clarity from the vocal. I want to make sure that we still get, perfect clarity from the vocal with nothing that's kind of distracting on the outside. 100%. Benjamin, I agree. All right, let's get a little bit deeper in here. And then on the vocal stuff, I think on the vocal side, you already know some of the things. Soft 2. Actually, I can drop it in the chat right here. It is called Saturation by Soft Tube. Boom. There it is. Beautiful. Boom. Right. Yeah. Right there. Saturation Knob by Soft Tube. It's great. I love it. I use it all the time. It's a fantastic saturator for free. It's free. There's some other good plugins there. Okay, on the vocal side, you already kind of know some of the things that you need. Like you said, like I'm not necessarily a singer, so there's parts of this where I'm like, okay, we could probably have some better takes. We could have better breath control, better vocal control, a little bit more like consistent vocal, emotion and vocal texture and layering and stuff like that. I think you're, like you said, you're a little bit earlier, so I don't want to dive too deep into that. I think you already know there's some things that will just like time for you to get more confident in and stuff like that. But as far as like processing of your vocal, I would love songwriter. Nancy, you can send in, so if you go to my profile and click on the link, you can send it right there. Just keep in mind, y'all, I only have time for 2 more songs. I got time for 2 more songs, and then I'm out of here. Currently speaking, that is Benjamin and Vadis. That's why I've left. Now, keep in mind also, y'all, that if you don't get heard today, it'll always be saved. We'll always save your credits. So you never have to worry about like missing out on your chance to be heard or anything like that. But if you want to submit, you still can. But I only have time for a couple more songs. The line is up on the other platforms that we're live on. I need to update the minimum just because we are getting towards the tail end here. So you definitely can still submit. That's up to you. Just recently learned what that is. Beautiful. But yeah, Nancy, you definitely can. So I'm only going to be on for another hour, which is 2 songs. We spend 30 minutes breaking down these songs. We spend a long time getting into the details of them to help. So whether it might be easier for you to come in tomorrow when we open the lines up again, but all the details are at my profile if you click on the link. But yeah, it might be a little easier tomorrow. Just we're getting a little bit more towards the tail end right here, a little bit of a shorter live. I appreciate you for tapping in so much. I'm excited to hear. Okay, let's get into a little bit deeper here. Okay, so vocal processing. I would love for your vocal to feel a little bit closer. Right now it's pretty prominent, it's pretty loud. I would love for it to feel a little bit closer. Right now you have this kind of like tight production structure with like really dry, clean drums, a big 808, and then Cody, thank you for the follow. And then this like vocal set in a lot of space. So the vocal has a bunch of like really bright, like, maybe hall or room reverbs on it, plate reverb that like feels really bright, really shimmery and really open, where the rest of the production's really tight. It's really close. And so the vocal feels very separate. Like the thing that you want to utilize, reverb for and ambiance for and stuff like that is to set your vocal in space. And if the vast majority of this is not a rule necessarily, it really depends on a very specific stylistic decision that you're making. But if your vocal is in a production structure that's very like tight, clean, very forward and very dry, but there's not a ton of space going on, then it can be usually more beneficial to have a vocal that feels a little drier, a little bit cleaner, and a little bit tighter as well. So it doesn't feel like your whole production structure is, very tight, very clean, and then your vocals set into a stadium or a huge hall or a huge cathedral, right? It can be better to make it a little bit closer to the same processing so it feels cohesive. It feels really connected. What's up, Shane? Welcome in. I got 2 more songs after this and then I'm out. I got a max of 2 more songs. So I got a hard out at like 5 p.m., so I got to get out of here pretty quick. I'll be on again tomorrow though, Shane.
So you got to be strong. Internal struggles fought with integrity. You got to pull.
Like I would focus, like obviously there's no ambiance on my vocal as well. Like for me, having like like even just in this context of nothing happening, having a dry piano, it's a little bit of a drier. a little bit of reverb on there right there, but that vocal just feels like closer, almost like, think of like, you know, if you know Black or Six Lack, right? Think of like a vocal like that, where sometimes the background vocals will have a lot of space to it, right? They'll be filling in some gaps, but a lot of times like that lead vocal will be like a little cleaner. And this is a different style than what you're doing here. Obviously, this is a different edge to it, but the lead vocal will oftentimes be a little bit cleaner, a little bit more direct, supported by elements that have a little bit more space and a little bit more ambiance to it, right? So that's kind of like, even just having this like, I would love to have a little bit of reverb on there, but not too bright, not too forward. You can kind of pull back on that by, you know, 15% or so, and maybe darken. Usually most reverbs will have like a filter on it, or you can add an EQ after your filter, or I'm sorry, add a filter, add an EQ on your reverb box, where you can actually EQ the reverb and like darken the reverb and stuff like that. If the EQ plugin doesn't have it, that'll help you kind of control it and compartmentalize it a little bit more. So the EQ's not, or I'm sorry, the reverb's not always like super bright and always in your face, but you actually are controlling some of the sonics behind the reverb.
I said now feelings regulate and habits replicate your current inner traits and the way that you portray who you currently convey.
And then another thing that I would do, because what you also probably one of the last things that I'll mention here, and I think if you can line up a couple of these things, so a little bit tighter vocal structure and vocal production like we already talked about. And there's ways that you can do this. If you feel like auto-tuning, you can, you know, that's to each, you know, to each their own as far as like, you know, stylistically what you want to do. You can do some tasteful stuff in there that's still pretty transparent, that's like barely there. Like if you go like 50 milliseconds on your vocal, like you go like 50 milliseconds, 40, 50 milliseconds, you'll barely even know that auto-tune's there at all, but it'll still help catch some notes that are falling out and line them up a little bit better. There's things that you can do to help support it. That still, you know, stay pretty consistent. And then, like we already said as well, lining up the bass, make sure that the bass starts on the D minor to the E to the A. And then the last thing that I'll say, and then some of the other, you know, vocal reverb processing stuff we're talking about, on the flute side, last thing on the flute side, I would love, with that flute, I would love for you to like change octaves on the verse and then open it back up for the hook. Right now it's always here, you know. Right? It's always kind of running at the top. What would be nice is on your verses, if you went an octave lower, you just pitch the whole thing down 12 semitones, an octave lower. Right? In your verses, it's and I have everything really close. The vocal's a little bit drier. You pull back on that reverb. The flute is an octave lower, so it's a little bit more dark, a little bit more moody. And then when you go into the hook, you push that flute back up another. Push it back up another octave. So then it switches feel, right? Like maybe there's parts where you pull out some of the drums, you pull out the 808, you bring the flute an octave down, your vocal changes texture just a little bit. And then when you go to the hook, it feels different, even though it's the same, you know, flute, but it feels a little bit different. Little things like that can go a long ways to things feeling more interesting, feeling more engaging, as opposed to it being the exact same octave, exact same flute, exact same 808, exact same progression. Your vocal changes a little bit, but then it repeats again. You want to find some interesting ways to kind of shift the energy lightly, shift the dynamics lightly in order to feel like this is more of a song where it's like, I can hear a hook, I can hear a verse, I hear us go back into a hook again. We need to find some way to separate and distinguish the different pockets of your song so that it actually feels like it's got some different energy to it throughout the course of the song. 10, I was like, wait, 10 fizzle. What's 10? Riz, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, I got you, Shane. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love to Cyboy right here in the chat. Cyboy, you got a bright future, man. You got a bright future, man. I really like your intuition as an artist and as a writer. I really feel like you already have a really strong intuition and just the way that you're building out your production structure. Like you do understand building a hook versus a verse. Now just on the production side, which is a different animal. What's up, Retract? Thank you for the heart me. On the production side, now we just need to find some ways to separate things, make sure that our chords line up, make sure our progression's pointed in the same direction, and start to learn a little bit more of the vocal processing and like mixing side of things. But you're talented, man. You definitely have an ear for it. So keep chipping away at it, man. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, absolutely. So now it's like, now you're another level up, right? Now you're going to gain, you know, better vocal clarity, better progression, stuff like that. You're just going to grow and grow and grow with each track that you do. I'll tell you right now, learning production, learning mixing is not about taking one song and trying to perfect it over years or perfect it over time. Excuse me. It is about doing it 1,000 times. So my recommendation to you as well would be to work on this song, finish this song, fight to get to the end of it and get it as good as you want it to be so you can release it if you want to and stuff like that. I love you're doing everything yourself. Fabulous, beautiful, I love it. But also you need to make 2,000 songs and produce tons of times and mix a bunch of times, different melodies for your vocal and stuff like that. The biggest thing, thank you for the How Are You retrack. I appreciate you so much. So that's my other tip to you is don't hyper focus on this song early on. Make sure that you are making a lot of different songs, 10,000 hours. And what you don't want to do is 10,000 hours on one song. And then you get to the end of that 10,000 hours on the song and you hate the song. You're like, I never want to put this out. Put 1,000 hours out, 1,000 hours into 100 songs, and get good at accustoming to, dropping in, progressions and different skills and different tools that you have and stuff like that. I want you to feel like you have a lot of variety as far as your ability to build production and track your own vocals and stuff like that. But y'all show some love, man. 10,000 hours just picking a snare is that's the job. That's what I get paid to do. Y'all show some love, man. Cyboy, I appreciate you so much. We got 2 more songs, y'all. Dude, and just enjoy the journey, Cyboy. Enjoy the journey. Don't get caught up in it. Don't compare yourself. Don't feel like you got to be, boy wonder right away or something like. Just enjoy the journey. Learn to love the process. And if you learn to love the process, every song is just fun to do. It's just it's an exciting thing. You're discovering a lot about yourself. You're discovering a lot about your sound and your voice and the skills that you're building. Enjoy the process. And yeah, I mean, I've been doing this professionally for forever, and I still have a long ways to go. I still am learning new things every single day, but I've just chosen, I just enjoy the process. I love what I do. I'm so grateful that I get to do it. And I just keep chipping away at stuff forever as well. I mean, I started producing 19 years ago, and I'm still constantly learning new things, man. So if you keep chipping away at it, then you'll be there, man. I've no doubt. All right, let's keep it going. We got our last 2 tracks, y'all. Last 2 tracks here. Oh, I forgot to edit this. So we got, I believe. Yeah. Let me see real quick. Let's see. I think Benjamin and Vadis are going to close this up here. I'm going to go ahead and close up the lines, y'all, because I can't really take any new submissions. So let me get this updated real quick here. Boom, closed. Boom, boom. Beautiful. And let me check this over here. Oh, we're doing okay. Let me see. Hey, sounds good, man. Appreciate you so much. All right, we got Benjamin in the building. This is Soda Machine, not pop, not pop. I keep wanting to call the band Soda Pop. I don't know if I'm watching too much. I've only seen it once. I was like, maybe I'm watching too much Demon Hunters content or something like that. It's not Soda Pop. It's Soda Machine. Sorry for the ASMR. This is Soda Machine, not pop. This is called Nothing. Let's get into it, man. I'm excited to break it down. You said this is one of your favorite records. I'm assuming same engineer as the one we heard the last time because the other one only did one song. But let's get into it. This is Nothing by Soda Machine. Is it downloading? Downloading. And we'll be out of here in a minute. And then we'll be back live again tomorrow afternoon, y'all. So just make sure that you're following on YouTube, on Twitch. Make sure that you're following on TikTok, of course. And we'll be back live in just a little bit. We'll be back tomorrow. All right, this is Nothing by Soda Machine. Let's get it.
Feel like it's all just caving in my mind. It's all just a fading. Feel the times keep on changing. I'm just remaining the same things I'm chasing.
Like a little Smash Mouth vibe, a little bit.
Everybody sleazy. Beneath it all, you never need me, and everyone's deceiving me. No one will believe me. In this life I live, gonna get it.
Super clean.
Make it, you serve it, people take it.
Emily, welcome in.
Always complicated, you never get it right, and I'll always be so hated. The darkness in front of me is the light I need. It won't ever, ever leave me. Think you've done your better part, and you've been there from the start, but you've always feel depleted. In this life I live, all I get is nothing instead of something. Be the demon that keeps me so crazy. In this life I live, all I get is nothing instead of something. Lock me up and never let me breathe. In this life I live, all I get is nothing instead of something. Be the demon that keeps me so crazy. In this life I live, all I get is nothing instead of something.
What's up, Shantia?
Lock me up and never let me breathe. In this life I live, all I get is nothing instead of something. Be the demon that keeps me so crazy. In this life I live, all I get is nothing instead of something. Lock me up and never let me breathe.
Great guitar tone.
In this life I live, all I get is nothing instead of something. Be the demon that keeps me so crazy. In this life I live, all I get is
Yeah.
nothing instead of something.
On the B section. That's what I'm feeling. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all show some love. Yeah. B section of the solo. It drags on. It's a great solo. It's clean. It's performed well. I love the tone. You know, there's everything about it. I think it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I love the tone. B section. B section on that. Yeah. I was like, in it. I need like the third note over that to like go left and right or something like that. Or like one panned out to like just break it up. Either needs to be like cut in half so that it doesn't run on with the exact same dynamic range, or like add one extra little texture in there. Whether like a synth or I think another guitar would be perfect. Y'all show some love to Soda Machine, not Soda Pop, Soda Machine. Show some love to Benjamin Russell right in here as well. Y'all are very, very talented, man. I like this a lot. Honestly, man, the only other thing that I feel beyond B section of the solo needing a harmony, or at the very least a double track to wake it up on the B section so it doesn't feel, too monotonous over time. The only other thing is the bass line on the hook. The bass line on the hook is throwing me. I don't know if that was cut differently than the verses. I'm not sure. I don't know if that was comped in or cut differently in the verses, or if it's the same exact like bass run through for that whole hook. The bass to me, it hits a different progression than the other instruments, and it sounds like it's a little flat. It sounds like it was 2 tracks. That makes sense then. I think it's out of tune on the chorus. I think it's flat by like 30 cents or something like that. It's a bit south. It's a bit south. So like I'm hearing the dun 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 dun, dun and I'm like, oh, there's some part of it, especially when it hits the higher notes and then goes down to rematch the chords again, that I think it's out of tune. So it makes sense it was 2 tracks because I didn't hear it on the verse. I didn't hear it on the verse. I was like, okay, the verses sound good. The interlude sounds good. I think the solo sounds good. It's literally only on the chorus. So it makes sense if it was 2 tracks. I would retrack that and/or like Melodyne or something like that. It hits a different lead or like root progression. It walks up to the 1 as opposed to down to like the 4. So it walks up a little bit differently, which I don't mind. That kind of the harmony right there. I don't necessarily mind it, but since it is also out of tune, it is creating a lot of tension that I don't think sounds very good. So that's one of the few things where I'm like, yeah, we can polish some other things in here, but that's one of the things I'm like that probably needs to be worked out. He was actually going to do the bass because he's a bassist. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, let's hear it again. Let's hear it. Let's play through it again. You can let me know. I don't know if you have headphones on either. You can let me know because sometimes all it takes is like then like pointing your ear towards it for a second. You know what I mean? Like you come in and you point your ear towards it and you're like, oh shoot, now I can hear it. Listen for the hook. You might even want to try going to one of the other platforms because it is a little bit over compressed on TikTok as well. I'm getting the raw file in my headphones straight from the computer, and so is Twitch and YouTube. So if you want to try over there, you can. It'll give you a better sound quality as well. Like if you go to YouTube, you can try that. Listen for the hook and you can let me know what you think as well. If you like the tension of it, if you like the way that it feels, obviously you can keep it that way. The first time I heard it, I was like, this is adding a lot of tension that isn't like grounding me with the drums. Like I'm hearing the drums, powerful, stacks of guitars. The bass was kind of pulling me out of that grounding nature that everything else already has. Okay, but to me it does sound not only a different progression, but also a little bit out of tune, maybe a little bit flat. Perfectly great for everything. Only the hook. It's strangely only the hook.
Just caving in my mind. It's all just a fading. Feel the time.
Like all of this I love. All of this I really like. Super clean.
The same things I'm chasing.
Yeah, I don't notice it flat at all here. Drums sound great, super snappy, really punchy. Guitar sound fantastic.
Easy, I'm always uneasy, and everybody sleazy. Beneath it all, you never need me, and everyone's deceiving me.
Okay, here's hook. You can hear it in the first note. You can hear it in the first note that it's flat. I'm gonna back it up. It's a little flat, right? I hope you can hear it too. I hope I'm not like losing my head or something like that. Tone guy, what's up? Tone, appreciate you hopping in. We are closed. We're closed, but we're gonna be back on tomorrow. Nicole, welcome in. We're gonna be back on tomorrow. I got one more track after this, and then we're gonna be out of here. It's a little flat. It's a little bit flat. So you got some. Appreciate it. Yep. First note, dun dun dun. So again, the third note right there that you're hearing, that's the one, right? Let me back it up. I'm gonna back it up, and then you hear it on some of the slides in between. So I'm getting I'm kind of getting into the structure right there, right? So yeah, so what's happening is the bass is doing, it's hitting the one, right? So the bass is going dun, dun, dun. Everything else is going dun. It's going to this case, the 4, it's a C sharp, right? So guitars and all the other layers are going dun, 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 down to the 4. The bass is going dun, dun, dun. So you're getting a little bit of tension from that, plus the fact that it's detuned by 30 cents, 20 cents, right? Because it's a little bit flat right there. So personal preference. This doesn't have to be the case. I would retrack because I personally wouldn't release it like that because to me it does sound as like, oh, it's not only a different progression, but also out of tune within that different progression. And so I would personally retrack the hook. I'd get the hook retracked on the bass. Everything else sounds great. I would retrack the bass and match it to the original progression. So that it matches the guitars, it feels weighty. You can still have like a like there's a lot of bass slides and like movements and riffs in there. You can keep all the riffs and all the fun little bass movements. I think that's fantastic. I think that part sounds really, really good. I got my master chain for that. All great. So if he just sends me a revised bass track, yep, okay, beautiful. That's what I would do. That's what I would do, because to me, this is the hook. This is the climax of the song. This is the punchline of the song right here. Like this needs to be strong. And since it's in a different register, it's a different progression and out of tune, it is throwing me off a little bit. So I'm glad I caught that, because I wouldn't want you to release this and then just people not listen to it because it doesn't feel good. They might, the average consumer might have not even like know that it's out of tune or how to even like reference that, but it won't feel good to listen to. So they'll want to move past it. So yeah, I'm glad we could catch that too. But yeah, I would just get it to follow the F to C sharp and then the rest of the progression instead of F to, you think Melodyne will be okay? I wouldn't do Melodyne only because the melody goes from here, like the original goes, it goes up here, and what everything else is doing, and that's a full fifth away. So you would be having to pull the bass. Yeah, I would retrack it, because you're having to pull the bass from the G sharp all the way down to the C sharp. So the formant shifting on that's going to be weird. Like all the artifact and like weird stretching that happens and formant shifting that happens when you pitch that much. If it was like one note, just retuning it, I think you'd be fine on Melodyne. You could just pop it into place. You'd be fine. But because you have to actually like change that bass note all the way down to the C sharp instead of the G sharp, I would. Yeah, it'll sound like some weird stretched out low voice or something. It'll be all weird whenever you formant shift that far. So I would retrack it. That's annoying. I know that's annoying, but I would retrack it, drop it back in, fade it back in, connect it there. That to me is largely one of the very, very few things at all that I notice. Most of this is really, really clean. And then double of the guitar. Those two things to me are the most important. I'll listen to the hook one more time and then we'll move on. But those two things right there are the most important aspects of this that I would pay attention to.
Think you've done your better part and you've been lock me up and never let me breathe. In this life I live, all I get is nothing instead of something.
Yeah, because the bass is doing to be honest, it's doing kind of a completely different progression. So everything else is here. So just make sure everything else follows that. F, C sharp, D sharp, A sharp. At least like the first two progressions there, and then it changes a little bit. It's doing a completely different walk up. So I'd retrack, regain the progression. Obviously make sure it's in tune or at least within a realm that you can tune it manually if you need to. Yeah, exactly. It stands out a lot because it does like two different progressions compared to the other. And that'll sound way better. Yeah. Doubles on the electric guitar, third harmony I think would be great, and then tuning on the bass. There's some great doubles on the vocal right here, especially second hook. Dude, of course, that's what we're here for. The double on the vocal on the second chorus right here is really, really nice. Fantastic. That makes it feel nice and wide. I think part of it is what is making, I think someone else mentioned this earlier, part of it maybe was Vadis. Vadis. I think some of what's making it feel like the vocal isn't as lively and as forward is because that bass is kind of moving around. So your attention is kind of pulled in a couple different directions. Your brain is figuring some stuff out. It doesn't feel as like punchy and settled. I think if the bass simplifies and just follows the progression again with some movement, but follows the progression largely, I think the vocal will feel even more tasteful, even more powerful in the mix. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Once you redo the bass, you're kind of moving around like this. And so my brain doesn't have space to like focus on the vocal, but I do think it sounds good where it is personally. I just think we need to like settle the production again. And then I think it'll feel better. Yeah, I hear ooh, there's oohs and ahs in the background. There's a double of the vocal left and right. It sounds pretty powerful, but my brain keeps like hearing it and then getting pulled down to, to another rabbit hole of frequency over here. So I think if you line it up again, I think it'll feel a lot tighter. Yeah. There's a nice double left and right, like 100% out. That's where I want to hear it. I want to hear like the third harmony right there with another guitar, just to punch that in a little bit so it doesn't get too monotonous. The drums are also like a little bright too. So like those are also like the cymbals, like you have an open like 18-inch crash that's doing a lot of work right there. The drums are also a little maybe forward, not like too forward, but you could probably slightly rebalance the like cymbals and like your overheads a little bit so the vocal just has more room because they are there and I do hear them and I do like what they're doing with the vocals. But there is a lot competing for that same space. So just be aware of that. Yeah. Are they 2000s? Are they like 2002s? It kind of sound like 2002s. Or 2002s are masters. He's got them all. Nice. Hell yeah. I'm waiting for that day. I don't show drums enough to I don't show myself playing drums enough to get sponsored by them, but I need to so that I can. Brands, hit me up. Beautiful. Y'all show some love. Benjamin, I love the song structure. Like you said, it's one of your favorites. I love the song structure. I love what your vocal's doing. I love the drums sound amazing. Tone on the guitar is fantastic. The bass sounds great. What it sounds like sonically, I think is fantastic. It's just doing the wrong stuff. It's just doing the wrong stuff in the middle. But beyond that, man, I'm ready to go with this song. It's really, really cool. This shouldn't take too long. It shouldn't take too long to finalize. Y'all, please show some love to the family. Benjamin Russell right here in the chat. That is Soda Machine, not Pop. Soda Machine. I feel you'll need to change your name to Soda Machine, not Pop now. Soda Machine, the song, and when we go back to the name right here, is Nothing. The name of the song is Soda Pop Machine. Right, we gotta hybridize now. That is Soda Machine. Soda Machine. The song is called Nothing. So go check them out, man. Follow the band. Follow along in their journey. Y'all are amazing. I'm excited to see where y'all go with this album. It is a really impressive, really impressive album. Let's get into this last one, y'all. This is we got Vadis in the building. Vadis, you're gonna close this out. This is out on Spotify. So Vadis, give me all of the details. Give me all of the details. Show me some love and support. What am I saying? Don't show me, or you can show them some love and support. What am I talking about, y'all? I gotta get out of here. That's why the line's closed. I got stuff I gotta do, and I can't think straight. This is Walk Away by Vadis and Alita Rust. Let's get into it. Like, yeah, please show me love and support. Goddamn. All right, let's get into it. Okay, yeah. Talk me through this, man. I don't have any details in the email. Give me some background on what's going on here. Give me some background. Let me see where the song went right here. Yeah, talk me through your role and what I'm hearing, what you did as far as production, mix, vocals, stuff like that. But this is Walk Away by Vadis and Alita Rust. Last song, y'all. Last song. Okay, cool. So you produce this.
I know all I ever was to you is expendable arm candy. So I'll put my makeup on, hair done, caption the photo, something fun. Cause maybe I can make you feel a bit of jealousy. I've been wishing on shooting stars, wishing I could have your heart, so I could tear it apart the way you did to mine. Never wanted a diamond ring, but a little more than nothing, maybe something in between, but no. Wanted to scream out, but I couldn't. Wanted to leave a mark, but I shouldn't. Instead I'll be the bigger woman and walk away. Wanna forget the scars and where I got 'em. Wanna fall again, but I've hit rock bottom.
Nice,
I'll
man.
just conceal my pain and smile as you watch me walk away. Why'd I wait
What's up, King? Welcome in.
around for you
Oliver,
to
we're
shut
closed.
me down
Backwards. We're closed.
again?
But we're going to be live again tomorrow. So just make sure that you're following. Tap in tomorrow. We'll open up the lines again.
Pretend. Finally cutting you out of my life, 'cause honey, you were playing nice. Maybe I read it wrong, but why'd you string me along? I've been wishing on shooting stars.
Yeah, this is our last song. This is our last
Wishing I
track.
could have
Appreciate you
your heart,
tapping in though,
so
King.
I could tear it apart the way you did to mine. Never wanted a diamond ring.
This is really beautiful,
But
man.
a little more than nothing.
I love Alita's vocal as well.
Something forget the scars and where I got 'em. Wanna fall again, but I
King. We'll be back, I promise. I promise we'll be back. Tap in tomorrow for sure. I would love to hear what you got.
As you watch me walk away.
What's up, Dan? Thank you for the follow, King.
I could be the bigger woman and walk away. Wanna forget the scars and where I got 'em. Wanna fall again, but I've hit rock
Beautiful.
bottom.
Beautiful.
I wanna make you feel my pain. I'll smile as you watch me walk away.
What a record, man. Vadis, this is amazing. Y'all show some love. Show some love, show some love. That is Walk Away by Alita Rust, and it was remixed, symphonized by Vadis, who's right here in the chat. You absolutely can cry. King TK, 100% you can. We're all crying. We're not crying, you're crying. We're all crying. I want to hear the original really quick. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Show some love. I want to hear the original really quick. I want to kind of hear what you did based on kind of the original structure of the song. So it's so beautiful, man. It's symphonic. It's ethereal. It's vibrant. Love the weight of the bass. You have a little bit of it's fed into some saturation. You can tell, like fed into some or like soft clipping or saturation too. When the bass comes in, you get this little rumble and this little crunch right at the bottom of the mix that sounds beautiful. It's like it's not so much where you're like and you lose clarity and you lose separation completely. It's like a tasteful little pocket right at the bottom of the mix that breaks apart a little bit. I love the way that it sounds, man. It's really, really tasteful, really nice. Okay, I'm gonna play like 20 seconds of the original. I just want to kind of hear where it came from. But this is beautiful. I like to do that sometimes with originals. I'm sorry, with remixes.
I know you're not capable of love
Super dry.
or empathy. I know all I ever was to caption the photo.
This is so cool too, because, and shout out to you, Vadis, because this artist has 41, super, it's dry. This artist has 41 monthly listeners. So props to you, man, I don't know your connection to this artist or if you just found him randomly on TikTok or if you know them personally, but like for you to find someone who's so fresh in their journey and put them on and put them in a really amazing production structure, found her on TikTok, dude, amazing. I love that you did that. I mean, 41 monthly listeners. You've got, well over 3,000 monthly listeners right now with some other great songs on there. The fact that you were able to do this and put this together and put her on a little bit as well, that's amazing. She deserves a lot more. I mean, she deserves a lot more notoriety for what she's doing as well. I want to hear the hook really quick.
Part the way you diamond ring, but a little more than nothing. Wanted to scream out, but I couldn't. Wanted to leave a mark, but I shouldn't. Instead, I'll be the
Yeah, super cool. Okay, we're going back to yours. We're gonna lock in, but Vadis, this is, dude, I love your music, man. This is really, really cool. Let's run it. Yeah, you can tell it's like about to kick in a little bit more. But you built in all of the orchestral elements here.
I know you're not capable.
Obviously a bit more
of
space with your reverbs and stuff.
empathy. I know all I ever was to you is
A little bit more saturation as well. Maybe some excitement at the top, like maybe some fresh air or excitement at the top right there. You get a little bit of harmonics at the top. Some artifact up there as well. But her vocal a little bit more tied to the production in this as well, right? It's a little bit more controlled, a little bit more connected. I like it, man.
arm candy. So I'll put my makeup on, hair done.
Get some of those cinematic drums in there.
Photo, something fun. 'Cause maybe I can make
Great automation on your dynamics.
a bit of jealousy.
Yeah.
I've been wishing on shooting stars, wishing I could have your heart, so I could tear it apart the way you did to mine.
Yeah, I love it.
Never wanted a diamond ring.
Great
but a little
dynamics.
more than
Yeah.
nothing, maybe something in between.
13 revisions or 13 different versions of the song? Those are two very different. 13 revisions to fix things or 13 completely different versions of the track? Let me know.
But no,
Let me know. Either one is crazy, but still.
wanted to scream
Okay. I was like, damn. I thought you did like 4 different house versions and an EDM version and a dubstep version and 3 different cinematic versions. I was like, 13 versions is crazy work. Revisions is still a lot. Revisions is still a lot, but you got it worked out, man. Yeah. Song of Storms on there. Yeah, you got some different versions on there. Yeah, this is great, man. It sounds absolutely beautiful. Ecliptic, thank you so much for joining the live stream. I appreciate you being here. We are closed up. We're going to be live again tomorrow afternoon Central Time, so definitely make sure that you're following, join the stream again then, and hopefully we can get you up on the board as well with your submission. But yeah, we're closed for today. This is our last song. This is an incredibly like vibrant and energetic mix. It's very wide, it's very open, it's very energetic, but there's still great space for the vocal in the middle. It still shines right over the top of the mix, man. It sounds fantastic. Love the minor push, major to minor push right there.
Wanna forget the scars and where I got up. Wanna fall again, but I've hit rock bottom. I'll just conceal my pain and smile as you
Like
watch.
I love that. Oh, I love it. It's like that's one of my like favorite like I have that in another song that I worked on, but like it's one of my favorite little modes to just shift the inner. I love it. I love a minor push off a major. It adds so much like tension to a song. It makes me so happy. I love it.
Feel my pain and smile as you watch me walk away.
I love that. Yeah, it's great. I love that push. I'm a fan.
Why'd I wait around for you to shut me down again and again? Was it all just for pretend?
Yeah, man, you gotta get this in a. I mean, I say this. Gotta get this in a movie, man. It's like it's like an easy thing to do. Man, this is a song that I could very easily see synced and placed well in the right scene at the end of a episode of a TV show. Like it's got a really really cool structure to it. Got you, man. It's got a really. I've been out like 13 hours a day these days. Look at my entire catalog, dude. I love it so much. I love it so much.
Cutting you out of my life, 'cause honey, you were playing nice. Maybe I read
Yeah, I believe it. I
wrong.
believe it, man. And I even hate saying that, honestly. I hate saying that because it's not like an easy thing to do. You know what I mean? Like it's not easy. Oh yeah, just get this in the show and get $14,000. Why don't you, man? That'd be great. But I definitely think it is worth pursuing. I definitely think it's worth like pointing your energy towards. What's up, Manifesto? Welcome in, man. Good to see you. It's worth pointing your energy towards. It's worth like cold emailing, libraries and trying to find a sync agent, trying to find a rep, or something. You know what I mean? Like or at the very least, like find clips from movies. I tell people this all the time. I've gotten some opportunities in that world or adjacent to that world just by posting my own music, my own instrumentals, my own like synth stuff that I do to clips of movies that I could see them being in, and getting some traction that way. Where like I posted a clip from Interstellar, but I put my own synth work in the background, just to push for that. And through that, I had someone emailing me saying, hey, we have some projects coming up in the near future. Would you want to be interested in maybe doing a couple clips in the background of this movie or stuff like that? So like, you never know the opportunities that will come just by you like faking it, putting yourself in that position, be like, hey, I love this song. What if I I'm going to put this song at the end of like a movie that you really like, or maybe a new movie, like put this over clips of like, what's the movie that just came out not that long ago? It had a bunch of Charlie XCX songs on it, kind of in a similar vein. I can't think of the name. Anyways, really, really popular movie with some big artists in it. I can't think of it. Whatever, my brain's not working, but you get the idea. Where you put yourself in the position and just find some clips from movies that you would actually like to see your music in and replace it with your own music underneath the dialogue. And you can get some opportunities just that way by kind of putting yourself in that position.
Why'd you string me along? I've been wishing on shooting stars.
And I would love, now obviously this is dry off of her vocal reprocessed with your stuff. I do wish that there was like some third note harmonies that came in on her vocal every once in a while. You could replicate those with like Melodyne and you know, build in some harmonies on your own. But I do wish that it did have its own harmony structure, just because it could use that extra weight on the vocal, the extra like chordal structure in the vocal, because the production is so beautiful, so vibrant, it's so cinematic. There's some times that like on some of these interludes that I wish on the like Shooting Star that there was some like third notes there.
But why'd you string me along? I've been wishing on shooting stars, wishing I could have your heart. So
Whatever. Shooting stars, so have your heart. Like having like a third note on there, it would give it like a, especially in her vocal, left and right, it would give it a lot of weight in the mix, which I think could be beneficial. But man, yeah, you gotta get, yeah. Melodyne is magic for stuff like that every once in a while. There's been so many songs. I've worked with so many artists where like they only had a single vocal, and I was like, hey, can you record some other vocals? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, so I'll create your own harmonies. The thing that I like about it is it's much more transparent. It's much more natural sounding. And when you pitch up to do like a third note harmony, you can reform it and shift down in order to like regain some of the natural texture of the vocal. Because obviously when you pitch up, you get like the natural form shifting up again. And when I have to, yeah, exactly. That happens with me all the time. Where like whether a rapper, a vocalist, you know, whatever the style may be, they don't want to go track again, or they don't have their own equipment to retrack again because they paid for studio time. And so in that situation, that's where I'll duplicate the track and open up Melodyne on the duplicated track and pitch it up to the third note up on in that key and adjust the minors. And then I'll pull it back in the mix, pan it left and right, and reform it, shift it back down in Melodyne, and it sounds just like their vocal for the most part. Like it gives it a lot of the same color and texture, which is just magic. So I mean, I would recommend. I mean, I hate to be that person. Sometimes it's like, hey, what would really benefit you is $100 plugin, and I try not to do that as much because I'm also a fan of like just do everything stock. I don't care. I hate plugins a lot of times, even though I have a bunch of them and use a bunch of them. They can get in the way sometimes, and there can be a lot of like, you know, just almost like overconsumption with like trying to get the newest plugin and pay, and, you know, doing a lot with what you have. 3,000, yeah, exactly. I'm like, dude, now there's, you know, Fab Filter 5 coming out. Adonis, thank you for the follow. You don't need it. You don't need it. Got some amazing, I'm a good manifester, man. I appreciate you tapping in. Got some amazing news. I've officially started my LLC. Not going to say what it is for yet, but still very excited. Dude, congratulations, Manifesta. That's amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Dude, I love it. I know. I'm working on a couple projects where it's making me really, really want one of the bigger Spitfire libraries right now. I'm like, don't do it. You don't need it. You don't need it. It's like another 400 gigs of like strings and stuff. I'm like, you don't need it. You don't need it. Not yet. Not yet.
tear it apart the way you did to mine. Never
But it's so good.
wanted a
But it sounds so
diamond
good.
ring, but a little more than nothing, maybe something in between. But no,
Beautiful, man.
wanted to scream out,
Beautiful.
but I couldn't. Wanted to leave a mark, but I shouldn't.
Yeah, like these hooks, I do crave a harmony right there just to support it. But man, it is a beautiful track. You did a phenomenal job in the production. It sounds absolutely fantastic, man. You're incredibly talented. This is awesome. I'm excited to hear more music from you. This is fantastic.
Bigger woman,
Great Light, welcome in.
walk away.
You're not stepping on the
Wanna
toes.
forget the scars
You're
on
supporting the production in an incredible way. You're not stepping on the toes of the vocal. You're surrounding it. You're wrapping around it. You're supporting it, but not in any way that it is reducing energy or reducing focus on that lead vocal. So great job, man. Honestly, yeah, it really is, man. It really same Benjamin. I agree. Almighty Boo, I appreciate you tapping in. We're closed for today, but we're going to be live again tomorrow. Dead Wish, same thing. We're closed for today. This is our final track. In fact, I'm going to hop off of here in about 40 seconds. But we are going to be live again tomorrow afternoon Central Time. So if you would like to submit, tap in then. You can get your song heard. We can open up the line again, and we'll dive into some other deeper consultations tomorrow as well. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Thanks for joining.
bottom. Wanna fall again, but I've hit rock bottom. I'll just conceal my pain and smile as you watch me walk away.
Gotcha. Beautiful.
I could be the bigger woman and walk away. Wanna
Still great clarity, even amongst all this noise. Great clarity.
I wanna make you feel my pain. I smile as you watch me walk away.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic, man. I hope you get everything you deserve out of this record, man. It's such a good structure. I love what Alita Rust is doing on the vocals as well. I would love to hear more from her as well. She's very talented. I know she has some music out, but she deserves a lot more of a push than the 41 monthlies that she has right now, man. Very, very talented. And man, Vadis, you're a beast. Incredible structure. Y'all, please show some love to Vadis right here in the chat. Show him some love and support. That song that you just heard is out on all platforms, so go stream it, go like the track, go add it to your playlist, go follow on Spotify, go show some love and support, go boost their algorithm, go find Alita, go find Vadis, same name over on platforms as well, man. Love and appreciate what you do. That is going to close this up for today. I appreciate y'all so much. Quick spiel before we hop off. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So the whole structure of what we do here is from that perspective, but it's also what I do full-time. So if you ever need any of those services, shoot me a message. Excuse me. I've got a lot of what I do is like analog and hardware synthesis. So if you need synths in your music, you need live drums, acoustic, electric, bass guitars, full production packages, mixing and mastering services, stuff like that, shoot me a message. I'll do my best to get back to you in a timely manner. Love and appreciate y'all. Y'all have an amazing rest of your evening, and hopefully we'll see some of y'all tomorrow as well.